F-50s. We got over 50 Super Duties. We got Escapes, Bronco Sports, over 300 new vehicles to choose from. We got it all. Don't miss the employee pricing at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
As we're set to head into the weekend, as a sports fan, you got to love it. We get a little bit of everything over these next 48 hours. You get a first-place showdown in the CFL. Riders and Ticats set to battle tomorrow at Mosaic. 13 NFL preseason games on tap. Championship baseball. Regina Red Sox and Sylvan Lake looking to capture the WCBL title. Jays start a series with the Texas Rangers tonight. There's Rodeo in Whitewood, dragon boat races on Wascana Lake, even a little bit of hockey with some of the best junior age players in the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, and we've got no shortage of things to talk about on today's show. So welcome to it. It's the Friday edition of the Sports Cage. It's Maz in for Barney. Next 3 hours, you've got something to say? You want to be part of what we're doing here on the Cage? As always, get in on it. 1-866-767-0620. Always taking your calls. And love your texts on the Prairieland Rentals text line, 306-936-6262. Sports Cage is brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. If you're listening on 620 CKRM, hey, we appreciate it. If you're watching our Sports Cage stream today on our social channels, that's awesome. Easiest way, throw up a comment. Subscribe on YouTube, give us a follow on X, and we'll take it from there. Busy show today. Farhan Lalji from TSN will join us. Everybody that was down on the Bombers, until the Ottawa Red Blacks can prove that they're not a liability, you cannot trust the Ottawa Red Blacks. Pretty crazy game last night in the Peg. Bombers win 30-27. We'll ask him about a big CFL weekend. Rider President and CEO Craig Reynolds is going to join us just after 4 o'clock. The big announcement today, next season, they will play a preseason game in Saskatoon. They haven't done that in 30 years. And along with that announcement, because of the big soccer, is it World Cup? That's going to be some of the games played in Canada? Yeah, World Cup. Toronto Stadium's busy, so the Argonauts will play one of their home games here. So we get an extra home game as Rider fans. All right. So, yeah. All right. So he's going to come on, talk about that. They had a giant press conference in Saskatoon today. There was like 1 million dignitaries there. But that's pretty cool, a little bonus football if you're a Rider fan. Jenna Beutler from the Whitewood Rodeo will join us. Colson, I want to know whose idea was it for human chuck wagon racing? Like, who brought that up? Was it in the group chat? Was it on a Teams call? Did they have a meeting in person? But that's happening this weekend in Whitewood. So we'll ask her about that. And then Luke Mullinder, color guy of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, will join us just after 5 o'clock. Always good chance to talk to Luke and find out what's going on. And we're hoping, if Luke's at work, that's one thing. But if he's at home, let's hope that his son Luther can make an appearance somewhere in Luke's visit here on the Cage. All right, guest number one. He's the most important person that everybody wants to hear from in Rider Nation. He is the voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Dave Thomas, walk through at the stadium today as the Riders get set to take on the Ticats. Is everybody cool as a cucumber, or can you tell that there's a big game 24 hours away and it's time to lock in?
A lot of focus, a lot of lock-in. Definitely for sure today at the walkthrough is it was business. It's kind of a loose day, but it's a very much business day for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They took care of business, and then they had a little bit of an alumni event, which was pretty cool to see some of the former players of the Saskatchewan Roughriders head out onto the field. They had a bit of a meeting at center field and then went their separate ways, and now we're set for Hamilton tomorrow. But yeah, business-like day today, and you can tell that there's something in the air right now at Mosaic Stadium.
Alumni event. Can you spill who was there on the field? Were they pep talking the team? What was happening?
Oh, wow. What they did, they have a little event with the alumni where they kind of bring them out onto the field. And so they do a kind of their own bring them out one by one. So Bob Poley was one of them that was there.
Oh.
Steve Mazurik was there. Then you had the Dan Clarks. You had Vincent Donaldson. You had Robert Mims. Long list of players that were there. And it was pretty cool to see them greeted onto the field by the team who kind of did the whole tunnel, and then they met at center field, had a few words, and like I said, broke up and went their own ways.
Lot of knowledge from some of those names you just dropped to be passed on to the current edition of Rider Nation. You want to talk about some people that have been through some battles. It's funny. I mean, you have your responsibilities as the play-by-play guy of the team, but when you see guys from those eras, it's easy to turn back into a fan, isn't it? Because those are the players that we grew up with.
When you're walking into the stadium and Dan Clark holds a door for you, it's like, hey, thanks. This is going to be a pretty cool day today. But yeah, absolutely. Your eyes are wide open. And again, I know I haven't mentioned everybody that was on that list, but boy, it was pretty cool to see. And I think it's really cool that Jeremy O'Day, again, I think he was probably very instrumental in it happening, but making sure that the players that built this franchise are recognized, given their just due, and then they pass that knowledge on to the next generation, the guys that are going to be taking battle tomorrow.
That's always great to see, because if today is the top of the pyramid, and we're always putting bricks on, those are the layers and the base underneath it from everything that came before that, no matter what era they came from. It's funny, even with the big announcement from the Riders earlier today, which we'll get to, 30 years ago was the last time they had a preseason game in Saskatoon. So if we went back to a 1995-96 roster for the Riders, if we Google that, there's going to be some interesting names that will stick out from over the years. That's good to see. Since Wednesday, you brought this up, and then we brought it up again yesterday. Red zone completion percentage. Ticats 1, Riders 7. Trevor Harris addressed it early in the week saying, yes, we're 7-1, but as an offense, we have goals. We want to be better in that as the season progresses. Is it from the lack of success so far? And it's hard to say lack of success when you've won 7 games and only lost once, but when they haven't converted touchdowns, what are you seeing? Is it scheme? Is it play call? Lack of execution? Where did it fall off?
There's been some bad luck. Definitely. There's a couple of passes that normally would be complete slip through players' fingers. So that's number one. 2, twice the Riders in the red zone have been stopped on the goal line this year, which, again, when Tommy Stevens came in, nobody ever thought that was going to happen, but it's kind of happened twice. And again, I'm not going to suggest that I know anything better than what the play calls are, but to me, I think it's just a situation where the Riders get down there, put a lot of pressure on themselves to make that play, and everybody wants to make that play, and then just some unforeseen things are happening. So focus, attention to detail, that's what the Riders will tell you. It just comes down to that little thing, that little split second, like Nelson Lacombo in a conversation I had with him. Remember, he drops the interception in Montreal a couple of weeks ago. Well, that ball was wide open. What happened? Well, I started looking for my return before I squeezed the ball. It's just those little things that, again, are inevitable seemingly at every level of football. And if the Riders can put that to bed, they're going to be just fine in the red zone.
You talk about goal line stop last night in Winnipeg. Winnipeg comes up big against Ottawa. Was that in the first or the second quarter? Denying the Red Blacks a touchdown. And that pretty much was the difference in the game. And it's funny, you watch that, and you can't fault Khalil Pimpleton for returning a missed field goal. Was it 113 or 117 yards? But Dave,
Believable.
If only he could have taken about 30 extra seconds to run down the field, because instantly when they scored, I thought, oh no, you've left Winnipeg too much time, and they're going to get the ball back. And watch this. They just need a couple of plays, and then they got Sergio Castillo, and if they can kick a fin, that's how it played out. Because I think a lot of us in Rider Nation were Red Black fans last night. We're watching that to be like, yes, here it comes. And there it goes.
Well, to react to what you're saying, number one, yes, that was a huge turning point when the Ottawa Red Blacks did not punch it in. And again, they were that close and they didn't do it. Number two, was that not the greatest game ever for fans that do not like analytics in sports? Because both coaches completely went against analytics in the final 90 seconds of that football game, and Winnipeg found a way to pull it out. Because the analytics show you that, yes, Sergio Castillo, he's got a heck of a leg. We know that. He can nail it, right? But the analytics say in that situation you should punt it. Now, I'm not second guessing any choice because I'm one of those guys that, you know what, there's a human element in sports and sometimes you just got to ride a feel. And if you're Mike O'Shea riding that feel, if he connects on that field goal, game over. It's done.
Yep.
2 scores down, game over. Cannot dispute that at all. So Khalil Pimpleton goes ahead. He returns at the length of the football field. And again, we've got a tie game. So what happens next is that, again, going against the analytics, Zach Collaros comes in, throws a deep shot, right? Really, when you've got a kicker with the leg of Castillo, you don't got to get many yards when you've returned the football back to your own 39-yard line. But he throws a deep shot, throws the interception. There you go. There's strike 2 against analytics. And then the third one is the Ottawa Red Blacks get the football back. And when you start that deep in your own territory with that little time left, the analytics say about, I think it was 22%, I believe. 22% of the time you're going to score on a drive of that nature with that little time left. And Bob Dice said, the heck with those analytics. We're going to throw a pass on first down. So he throws an incompletion. The clock stops. They run the ball on second down. Winnipeg uses their timeout, stops the clock again, get the football back, kick the winning field goal. So again, there you go, analytics. Take that, is what the coaches said last night, going with the feel, Ottawa feeling that they had some momentum. So that's why they wrote it out in that situation. And Mike O'Shea looking to put the nail in the coffin early by scoring that long field goal, neither of which worked for either team. So if you're like me and you just hate hearing analytics, well, there you go. They left the pitcher in for the extra batter last night.
I was on some of the fan sites yesterday after the game, and Bob Dice in his postgame said one thing, but Dustin Crum said another. So there was some confusion, and it looked like it on the sidelines too about some of the calls and when they went for it. So I don't think that they're on the same page. Until Ottawa... Earlier in the day, I thought, until Ottawa can win 4 straight football games, 4 games in a row, I don't think you can trust the Ottawa Red Blacks either way, especially if you're a betting person, and I'm not. But you can't trust them. They're too all over the map. The other thing about the Bombers, they're 5-5. They have had to learn how to play and win with adversity. And last night was one of those games. Dave, did you think on that first down play that Zach Collaros was going to take off and run for almost 20 yards to get them into field goal range, and they completed another pass? No, but he did. He did exactly what I don't think anybody thought he was going to do.
Exactly. And that's what makes the Winnipeg Blue Bombers special, because they've got guys that know how to win. And you can't discount the Winnipeg Blue Bombers record aside. Again, you look at some of the bad luck they've had late in ball games, you can't discount that until they've gone ahead and proven that they can be beat, which I don't think that they have yet. They're right in the thick of things. The record may not indicate it, but they've got a couple of games back-to-back with the Saskatchewan Roughriders coming up that's going to make or break their season.
It's the adversity wins. And the Riders haven't faced a ton of adversity this year. It's not like they haven't had to earn it. There's no cakewalks or gimmies on the bingo card or whatever. But the Bombers are having to find these ways. That's the mark of a really good football team or a championship football team. Chips are down. We need something big. We just gave, most of the time, you'd be deflated if you gave up a 117-yard missed field goal for a touchdown with 60 seconds left. That may just drain the team. But they didn't. It didn't stop them. They just kept trucking. And I know, 5-5. Durant said Monday, in the West Division, records don't matter. Anybody can beat anybody. It didn't matter when he played, and it doesn't matter now. I hope in Rider Nation, people will don't listen to us, listen to him. Don't get hung up on their 5-5. Okay? Because when they show up, it's probably going to be a dogfight. And if Collaros is willing to go sacrifice the body for a 20-yard run with a minute left in the fourth quarter, to me that says he's doing anything and everything to win.
Absolutely. And that shows you the importance of that ball game, by the way, to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers last night in a nutshell. But also, before we paint the Ottawa Red Blacks with a brush, right? Let's face it, the team is different with Drew Brown at quarterback because he can do so many special things. And even the play that he got injured on, it was sensational how he was able to extend the play with his legs, chuck a pass, basically basketball style, like the old chest pass, and make a completion out of what should have been a 15-yard sack. And that's where I feel for the Ottawa Red Blacks is Drew Brown just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And that's got to be one of the most frustrating things if you're Sean Burke or if you're anyone in that Ottawa Red Black organization, because you can see the potential, you can see the what if, and you know your team is banged up. Your secondary is absolutely beat up right now and probably not going to get a lot better, as we found out that Amari Henderson is done for the year at halfback for the Red Blacks this season. But man, it's going to be one of those what ifs, right? What if Drew Brown was able to stay healthy, and hopefully it's not a long-term injury that he sustained last week or last night.
When Dustin Crum came in the game, I thought maybe they simplified things a little. He actually looked good. He was making the simple plays, the short stuff, letting the receivers run. Geno Lewis was really involved. I thought for coming in relief, he did well. Now, I'm not sure if it's the exact same playbook, Drew Brown, Dustin Crum, or something changed, but he looked like he was able to make some of the easier stuff that maybe Brown was struggling with while he was making the spectacular. Some of the mundane stuff wasn't coming.
Keep in mind, right? What does Trevor Harris coined the phrase yards after beatdown and points after beatdown? Did Winnipeg's defense let up a little bit? They were up by 17 points. Now, you wouldn't think with the outcome that they had the week prior that they would slow down at all. But, hey, you know what? We're up 17. We don't have to take a lot of chances here. We've got Dustin Crum coming in. We know he wants to use his legs. Maybe we ease off the gas pedal a little bit. It is kind of human nature after all. But I'm not saying that was the case. And I don't want to throw any shade on Dustin Crum because he's a hell of an athlete. But having said all of that, I wonder if there were some contributing factors to the performance that he had with the offense late in yesterday's game.
It was funny when we were talking to Suits yesterday, I had mentioned a guy like an Ian Holmes going to have a good game for the Bombers because they've got a lot of injuries, and he's a vet. So, yeah, he got a pick. And I said, Tarek Wheatfall's got to be involved in the offense. And he had a bunch of catches. He didn't go off for like 125 yards or anything, but he was more involved than he had been for the Bomber offense. The Red Blacks finding ways to lose. And you know what? I said, you can't trust them. And Winnipeg being 5-5, it's the adversity of those 5 wins that they've had to go through to get them. And like you had mentioned, the sign of a good quality football team, they know how to win when it matters most. Do you have any thoughts on Edmonton, Ottawa tonight? Do you have any idea what teams may show up? Because they're head scratchers, both of them.
Yeah, Edmonton, Toronto is going to be an interesting matchup because I really believe that Toronto's season is on the line. And I know that we're before Labor Day and all of that fun stuff. But the fact is that there is a possibility that we could have a West-East crossover going into the playoffs this year. And if Toronto wants to keep their head above water in that game, they're going to have to come out and play. They haven't performed well, I don't believe, in continuity in all 3 phases. They just haven't clicked yet this year. They've showed glimpses of what they are and what they can be. I'll be curious whether or not they can get it together in Edmonton tonight. And Edmonton, for the Elks, it's desperation mode as well. And I hate using desperate because that sounds such a negative word. But for the Elks, they need to make a splash at home, right? Like, it's been tough sledding for the Elks at Commonwealth Stadium this year. Cody Fajardo is going to get the start, which, again, if you're following the Elks, it is such an interesting discussion amongst their fans. There are so many that are cheering for Trey Ford, but you look at what Cody Fajardo has put up the last couple of weeks in a loss to Saskatchewan and then a win last week in Montreal. Like, I would be hard pressed not to say that Cody Fajardo doesn't give you your best opportunity to win. So you come in tonight, I think there's a lot of pressure on both teams to get this win. And I think there's going to be a lot of different things that we see happen in this games as the teams are going to pull out all the stops, because this is an important one for both.
I was trying to think back, and maybe you can shed light on this. When the Saskatchewan Roughriders released the depth chart for tomorrow's football game, there are no changes from the week before. That little area is completely blank. Dave, when's the last time you saw a depth chart with the Saskatchewan Roughriders with 0 changes? I can't. In recent memory, I can't. Not one player in, not one player out.
No, and I know that the Riders were actually, the communications department today was fielding calls and emails. Is this a bad depth chart? Did something go wrong? Like literally they got those calls when it came out.
Yeah.
And I can't recall ever a time, whether it's performance-based or injury-based, that you had an opportunity to address the exact same roster. The Riders have that. So yeah, you're right. It doesn't happen in football seemingly, but it did this week for the Riders.
And if you're wondering, why aren't you guys covering the big Rider news? Craig Reynolds will join us after 4 o'clock to talk about the big announcement earlier today that next year, the Riders will play their home preseason game at Griffith Stadium in Saskatoon. They had a big press conference at 10 this morning. And then during the regular season, because of World Cup soccer in Toronto, it's the Argonauts and the Riders. They'll play back-to-back. But that second game, the Argo home game, is actually going to be in Mosaic, correct?
Yes. And so basically one point of clarification that I should make prior to Dan Clark holding the door open for me at Mosaic Stadium to enter the building today, I was stopped by a couple of fans who were quite concerned about the Toronto Argonauts having a home game at Mosaic Stadium. Now, the Argos are going to be playing the Saskatchewan Roughriders in that game. And the point of clarification is the Toronto Argonauts are not going to be moving into the Saskatchewan Roughrider dressing room and or facilities. So we can cross that off the list of concerns. That's not going to happen. But for the game up in Saskatoon, that's going to be a beauty.
A packed out Griffith Stadium, if you've never been there, is a very unique football experience. And one that I think will give a lot of people, maybe that don't ever come to Rider games, a chance to experience the product for themselves, which maybe translate into coming to a game in Regina, buying merch, going online, doing stuff. It's just another chance to say, thanks, Rider Nation, who are up north. Here's your chance to be part of what we do. Because you don't get it. Training camp is one thing, Dave, but there's nothing like the feeling, the aura, just the atmosphere of a game day for Rider football.
Absolutely. And you know what? As much sway as you may believe that I have zero. And I know your whole Pilsner Cup idea is out there and you were going to pitch it. Again, you do that. But if there's anything that I could request, just one thing, I would some way, somehow love to see the duplication of homecoming game for Huskies, because what happens during halftime at the homecoming game for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies is they have the running of the togas, where all the freshmen put on togas and run around the football field in various levels of sobriety. So if there was one request I would love to make, please bring the toga race.
Well, that could be part of the Pilsner Cup, but we're not writing Van Wilder 2 with Ryan Reynolds, okay? So listen, let's chat offline. Let's take, as the kids say, let's take this offline. I'll put that into the Pilsner Cup proposal or whatever. You can't have drunken players in togas. Yes, you can, but maybe not at this event.
It's not the players, it's the fans. It's the fans, Maz. You don't have a freshman quarterback running out into the field on a toga. It's the fans.
Fans, it's even worse. You're going to get angry parents afterwards. You embarrass my son. All right, let's wrap this. We'll have a planning meeting. I'll set a Teams call for early next week. Hey, don't forget the 620 CKRM Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network hits the air tomorrow morning with countdown to kickoff starting at 10. The Rider pregame show goes at noon. And Dave and Luke will have the call Riders and Ticats just after 1. And don't forget, when the Riders play, get the KFC Game Day Special, the Big Crunch for $4.95, and the Big Crunch Combo for $7.95 at participating KFC locations. Time to take a break. When we come back, Farhan Lalji from TSN will join us. This is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
Get your tickets here. Tickets, Phone Lake Recreation Lottery tickets available right now. Volunteers standing by. We'd love to set you up, and we're going to get you in for that big draw of $330,000 in combined cash. If you want strictly straight-up cash, $250,000. Now, we've added to the jackpot and to the prizes every year because this is our 30th year. This is a special lottery. $250,000 for the small-town lottery. Tickets are $100 each. You can get your e-commerce ticket or an e-transfer at combinelotto.com. And for the 50-50, the winner share right now, $116,000 in climbing. You can get those 3 for $50 or a 10-pack for $100. $200 you'll be in for each and every draw. 32 big draws coming up next week. Visa, MasterCard, 1-888-453-1998. That's 1-888-453-1998.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs,
call on Reliance.
Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
Nelson Homes is having a summer blowout sale on quick possession homes that you don't want to miss out on. Get free delivery anywhere in Saskatchewan on select in-stock show homes and spec home RTMs. For more information, visit their website, homes.nlc.ca. Or for general information, call 1-800-661-6534. That's the Nelson Homes Summer Blowout Sale. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Come watch former pro and collegiate level players battle it out for the national championship. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. Get a full event pass for just $50 or grab a day pass for $20. Twilight games after 5 p.m. are only $10. Tickets are available at the gate. August 20th opening ceremonies and Home Run Derby are completely free. Bring a glove. These bats don't miss. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. See you at the park.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
SEIU West members are
Stores Person,
Unit Assistant,
Finance Officer, Unit Clerk,
Recreation Coordinator,
Youth Care Worker,
Medical Laboratory Technologist,
Power Engineer, Office Administrative Assistant,
Maintenance Services Worker,
Medical Transcriptionist,
Medical Office Assistant,
File Clerk, Medical Laboratory Assistant,
Pharmacy Technician.
The backbone of your public health care system. Learn more at seius.ca.
You know them as TM Auctions, but Terry McDougall and Tam Kostanek would like to introduce their new name, McBids. Now known as McBids, they will continue to proudly serve Saskatchewan. With over 50 years combined experience in the auction and appraisal industry, experience, trust, and transparency are words they live by, and they will continue to do so as they invite you to join them as they continue their journey as McBids. Give them a call at 306-262-6327 or visit mcbids.ca. McBids, same trusted team, bold new brand.
Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
CFL Championship continues tonight in Sylvan Lake. The Regina Red Sox need a win to keep the series and their season alive. Oh, it was a heartbreaker last night at Curry. They lost 3-2 in 11 innings. There's over 2,000 people there last night. Thanks for showing out, Red Sox fans. That was awesome. That was awesome. So tonight in Sylvan Lake, first pitch goes at 7 o'clock. They're still on the road. They're not going to get to Sylvan till about 5:30. And game goes at 7. It's a 10.5-hour bus ride. Oh, that's grueling. Come on, win tonight. And then if there is a game 3, that'll be played tomorrow night in Sylvan Lake as well. First pitch will go at 7 o'clock. The Jays are going to start a series with the Texas Rangers at Rogers Center at 5:07 this afternoon. The Jays pretty much steady Eddie, not wild card for sure, but we need to lock down first place because we do not want to be going on the road for a short 5-game series. If you missed it earlier today, the playoff round at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, Canada lost 4-3 in a shootout to the U.S. Blake Zielinski scored the winner for Team USA. Sweden beat Finland 6-5 in overtime, so that means Sweden and the U.S. will play for the gold tomorrow. It looks like Canada and Finland will play for the bronze medal. All right, it's time for our weekly visit with Farhan Lalji from TSN.
It's time to get the inside story. TSN's Farhan Lalji on Sportscage is brought to you by the Cooperators. Time to get financially fit? Cooperators can build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Week 11 in the CFL kicked off last night with a bit of a bang. No shortage of fireworks in Winnipeg. Farhan, I'm wondering if you thought what I thought when the Ottawa Red Blacks scored that touchdown on the missed field goal. You left too much time on the clock. Not that they had anything to do with it, but the Bombers, there was too much time for them and giving them a chance to make a comeback, and they did.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it wasn't just that. Zach Caleros then throws the interception, right? And Ottawa gets the ball. And to me, from where they were, okay, I get why they went where they did in terms of trying to throw the ball on first down. I would have gone and played for overtime right away. But, okay, you got the ball in your hands. You got an opportunity. You know, I wouldn't have maybe taken the shot with a young quarterback. Now, you kind of went half pregnant because they throw the ball on the first play. Winnipeg still has the timeout. They run the ball on the second play. And Winnipeg calls the timeout. So, like, you got to do one or the other, right? If you're going to play for overtime, you got to run on both plays because they've only got one timeout. If you're going to throw, you got to keep throwing and try to get the first down and get the game done at that point. So I thought Bob Dice made a real mistake there. And, then they got the ball back, and there was, 27 seconds left, I think, after that exchange. So, and Winnipeg did just as much with that scramble run by Zach Caleros.
Yeah.
And they keep finding ways to win games. Ottawa generally finds ways to lose games. And, and here we are.
A couple of things. I haven't heard the term half pregnant in years, but it's still funny every time I hear it. And if you were to ask Bob Dice today, do you think you could have called the final 2 minutes better? I hope his answer would be, yeah, I made some coaching mistakes there. I didn't put my team in the best spot to succeed.
You'd be likely to get that potential answer from Bob Dice. You'd never get that answer from Mike O'Shea, who basically told the assembled media after the game that, okay, you need to, maybe you could write things this way in terms of the positive that Winnipeg showed based on its resilience, as opposed to admitting that he made a mistake by going for a 57-yard field goal, right? I mean, that's just huge risk in that situation. I don't know that anybody really liked the call outside of Mike O'Shea, and he didn't get burned by it, and nor did Sergio Castillo, who got another opportunity to get it right at the end of the game.
Yeah, I thought a lot of us would be like, okay, they're going to punt. Sheehan's a pretty good punter. Pin him deep, get him inside the 10, let the defense go do their thing, but they've trotted him out. But I knew, I'm like, when Castillo came out to kick the winner, I think, what are the chances he's going to miss 2 in a row? And I'm like, I don't think he will. So it did work out for the Bombers. They're 5-5. They win with some adversity. It looks like the defense went to sleep in the fourth quarter, and I don't know if you can do that with teams other than the Red Blacks. Tonight, a bit of a head scratcher. It's the battle of the 2-win Toronto Argonauts and the 2-win Edmonton Elks. The Cody Fajardo, Nick Arbuckle show. you probably haven't bet your mortgage and your son's college tuition on this game, I'm thinking.
No, I've picked Edmonton to win just because I don't have a ton of time for Toronto's defense and their cover teams right now. I think that they could be better. Defensively, they're just not there, and they've had a lot of turnover and a lot of change, and they're making more this week. And you get Brandon Dozier, and he all of a sudden gets signed, and literally 72 hours later, he's starting in a football game, which is just amazing. That can happen at this stage, but here we are, and I think Fajardo's kind of got it going right now. He's in a bit of a role, and Edmonton's defense is improving, right? I think that's a good group right now. JC Sherritt, the last 3 games, has kind of got a few things figured out, and look, I'm not a big Fajardo or Arbuckle guy, but both of them are playing well, and you got to give them credit, right? So who would have thought that if you came into this season and you thought, okay, well, Toronto's going to struggle without Chad Kelly, you would have thought the offense would be the problem. And really, it's the defense and special teams.
Yeah. I mean, even last week in that Ottawa game, I mentioned this on the show Monday, and as a Rider fan, we loved Anthony Lanier when he was playing at the top of his game and he was healthy. But then Anthony Lanier was good for 1 or 2 bad penalties every couple of games. And last week, he takes that from away from the play, misconduct foul, throws a guy down, first down Ottawa. They end up scoring, and it's like, there you go, Argo fans. That's the part of Anthony Lanier we don't miss. Toronto can't play like that tonight in Edmonton. They need to give themselves every opportunity, and taking dumb or bad penalties will not help their cause at all. They're not that good.
No, they're not. And, I think everybody is, I don't want to say surprised, but I think they expected what they got last year, where Toronto had a ton of roster turnover. And sure enough, they go out and win a Grey Cup, right? And I think they probably assumed they could do that again, and it just didn't work out for them, right? Whoever they found, whoever they added, it just hasn't been what it was a year ago. And certainly, you're getting a lot out of Coxie and a couple of other people on the offensive side, but defensively, like, this group just isn't close to what it was and what they needed to be, because they could get away with those types of mistakes a year ago, and Chad Kelly was good for a big play, and they'd find a way out of it, or they'd get a sack on the next play, or they'd generate a turnover on the next play. They're just not good enough to do that right now. So you're right. And Edmonton's feeling pretty good about itself. So I like their chances tonight. I've picked them to win.
Are you doing the game tomorrow? Are you part of the broadcast crew tomorrow? Lions, Alouettes, BC Place?
I am. Yeah, no, it should be fun. And we'll see what Montreal looks like, but I find it really difficult to pick for a Montreal team without Davis Alexander in the lineup, right? I mean, I know Caleb Evans is 2-0 as a starter, but if he was that guy, he'd have been starting a lot more games than 2. So I think BC is 0-2 to backup quarterbacks this year. They lost to Jake Mayer and they lost to Chris Strevler. Can it happen again? I'd be surprised, but we'll see. Like, when you go back to that game in Montreal, that BC pulled a rabbit out of a hat, and people are saying, okay, well, BC got lucky because of what happened in the last few minutes. I kind of viewed that game a little differently, because I thought BC was the better team in most statistical categories, and late in the first half especially, BC took a number of penalties that kept Montreal in the game, so that BC needed to pull a rabbit out of the hat at the end of the game, where, I just think physically they were better for big chunks of that game. So we'll see what happens here. Montreal's defense is really, really having to carry a heavy load right now without Davis Alexander playing for Montreal.
It looks like Nathan Rourke is a lot more comfortable these past couple of weeks in the Buck Pierce offense. My concern with BC, the offense, you've got a smart guy and a talented quarterback. So that could happen at any time. It's Mike Benavides in that defense that worries me, because at times they don't look well put together. They give up yards, give up plays, they give up points. What do you see that, like, if there is, a 1A and 1B for Benavides defense, what do they got to correct to start locking things down? Because it can't be a shootout.
Well, I think No, you're right. And look, the first half of the season, or first 5 games that they played, their defense was doing a really good job, right? And then they had the Saskatchewan-Hamilton stretch, the 2 games at BC Place, where it completely fell off the rails. And then, but even in that first Hamilton game, they were good for 57 minutes, fell apart the last 3. Then you've got the last Hamilton game where the third quarter was really bad for them, but the other three quarters, I thought they did some really good things. So they're inconsistent. They're not bad. The biggest issue for BC right now is their defensive line is not generating enough pressure with 4. And that's a problem, right? I mean, at some point, you've got to be able to get home. I mean, we see teams do it against BC at times with 3. So they were forced to try to blitz and bring a couple of extra guys into the picture in that game against Hamilton in Hamilton, and I just don't think they can live that way long term. And when you have Matthew Betts and Sione Tuhema, who are really well regarded players coming into the year, especially Betts, you got to get home at some point, and then you can't double down by taking a bad penalty every game. And same thing with their interior guys; they've got some good pieces, but they haven't put it together. So if they can find a way to get pressure with 4. It will, and I'm not talking every down, right? But you've got to be able to do that legitimately. You've got to have legitimate quarterback pressures 10 to 12 times a game, and you've got to be able to get home 2 to 3 times a game. And right now, they're not doing that unless they bring extra people. So when that happens, and you've got some young DBs, you're going to get exposed at times. So it starts up front for BC.
Tomorrow at Mosaic Stadium, the number 1 red zone offense in the CFL, and the Hamilton Ticats are coming to Regina to take on the. This was a bit of an eye opener when Dave Thomas brought up the stat. The number 7 red zone offense in the Saskatchewan Roughriders. For all of our successes so far this year, I'm like, really, we're 7 in the red zone? That's got to get better for us to. If we have aspirations of a Grey Cup, that's got to get better.
Yeah, and I think their pass defense also needs to get better as well, right? So, I'm actually taking Hamilton in this game, and I don't know that I've picked against Saskatchewan all year. I'd have to go back and look at it, but and this is a tough one for me to pick, primarily because I don't know what's going to happen with Stavros Katsantonis and Jamal Peters. If they were healthy, I'd feel stronger about the pick. I love the way both quarterbacks are playing right now. I certainly think Trevor Harris is capable of putting up numbers, but I just think in terms of Saskatchewan's pass defense, there's another level for them to get to. So, I've picked Hamilton, but I'm kind of hedging because I do want to wait to find out more today in terms of what the injuries look like for those 2 players, because if they're both out, I might flip.
Monson and Mace both come from the Stampeder coaching tree. The over-under for tomorrow's game is 53.5. I'm siding on the over, and it's not necessarily bad defense. Just when the offenses get rolling, they get rolling. Are you on the over as well?
Yeah, I am. I think you're right, because these offenses are playing at an elite level. Both quarterbacks are playing at an elite level, and their receivers are doing great things, and they're showing depth in both their receiver cores, right? Like when you look at, Dante Myers in Saskatchewan, he's having a fantastic season, and they've got some key guys with Emelis, who's missed time this year, and obviously Schaefer Baker, and yet they're finding ways in the receiving core for a new guy to get it done every time. Robustelli, pick your guy. So, and the last 3 games for Hamilton, Kenny Lawler's been quiet, but whether it's Keandre Smith or Tim White or whoever, that's another deep receiving group as well, and they're just finding guys. Shamar Bridges in the last game, so they can move the ball and the quarterbacks can find them. So, both guys are having Renaissance campaigns, so I would absolutely take the over.
Farhan Lalji joins us every week for the Cooperators. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs are in Seattle tonight for their preseason game. Say hi to Taylor Swift if you see her in the press room before the game.
Taylor doesn't do preseasons. She only does podcasts in the preseason. 2.5 hours. Can you imagine?
Listen, we'll take her anytime. We need clicks, likes, and listens just like anybody else. You got a podcast as well. Listen, let her know that the Prairieland Rentals text line is always open. Impersonators welcome too. We'll get back to her. So have a great weekend, Farhan, and have a great call tomorrow, Lions and Alouettes. Farhan Lalji joins us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline every Friday, brought to you by the Cooperators. Time to take a break here on the Sports Cage. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Saskatchewan Roughrider Roland Milligan Jr. This is the home of Rider Nation, 620 CKRM.
The historic Bell Barn Horse Fair is this Sunday from noon to 4. There will be a heavy horse pull, mini horses pulling a chuck wagon, blacksmith, Canadian champion farrier, food trucks, vendors, and children's activities like wagon rides, face painting, bouncy castle, games, and crafts. Admission is just $12 for adults and $2 for children 15 and under. Bring your lawn chairs and enjoy the Bell Barn Horse Fair this Sunday from noon to 4, 1 mile north of Indian Head on Highway 56.
620 CKRM on location.
I would love to get you set up for a ticket for the Combine Lottery, Foam Lake Recreation Combine Lottery 30th anniversary celebration. So for the celebration, we have put more money into the coffers for the winners, and we've had a lot of our winners over the past pick up prizes. This could be your year. We appreciate the loyalty, and we appreciate your past support. Looking forward to your support this year. And how about a shot at $250,000 cash? If you need a combine, we'll give you a good start. $330,000 in combine cash. It's a big decision, especially if you're coming from the farm and you might need a new combine. But it's good to have a choice. And our 50-50 winner share, $116,000 and climbing at this point. Those tickets are 3 for $50, 10-pack for $100. Visa, MasterCard, get yours. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
Get ready for harvest with a used Case IH Combine from AE Chick 1 Farm Equipment in Storthoaks. They have a 2017 8240, 2019 8250, 2020 9250, 2021 8250, and 2023 8250. Call AE Chick 1 Farm Equipment, your local independent Case IH dealer in Storthoaks. 306-449-2255. That's 449-2255.
Nelson Homes is having a summer blowout sale on quick possession homes that you don't want to miss out on. Get free delivery anywhere in Saskatchewan on select in-stock show homes and spec home RTMs. For more information, visit their website, homes.nlc.ca. Or for general information, call 1-800-661-6534. That's the Nelson Homes Summer Blowout Sale. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Tune in for your chance to win big with Access Communications Children's Fund TV Bingo every Saturday at 5 with a prize board between $7,000 and $15,000. Cards are $14 with all proceeds going to the Access Communications Children's Fund. Watch and play every Saturday at 5 for your chance to win TV Bingo only on Access Now TV. This week's jackpot is $3,500 in 52 numbers or less.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Hear that? What a tackle. That big crunch wasn't from the tackle, Chris. That's the KFC $4.95 End Zone Big Crunch and $7.95 End Zone Big Crunch combos only on game days.
The End Zone Special available on Rough Rider game days at participating KFC Sask locations. Introducing the new Seco Formula 77 Stain and Sealer. One coat, zero mistakes, spectacular results. With 30% off until August 20th, it really is that easy. Seco. See color.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
WCBL Championship continues tonight in Sylvan Lake. The Regina Red Sox need a win to keep the series alive. They lost 3-2 last night in 11 innings at Curry Field. If Game 3 is needed, that'll be tomorrow night in Sylvan Lake. Jays start a series with the Texas Rangers at the Rogers Center. First pitch at 5:07. The Saskatchewan Roughriders announcing they'll play a preseason game in Saskatoon at Griffith Stadium in 2026. Tonight in the CFL, the Elks The Elks are home to the Argonauts. NFL preseason, Titans take on the Falcons, and the Chiefs play the Seahawks. PFC this weekend, Regina Thunder play the Colts in Calgary on Sunday. The playoff round at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. Canada loses 4-3 in a shootout to the U.S. Blake Zelensky scored the winner for Team USA. Sweden beat Finland 6-5 in overtime. Sweden and the U.S. will play for gold. And Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh both signed their standard player agreements today with the Regina Pats. That is your sports ticker.
Sometimes there's a song you just gotta hear. And every Sunday morning from 10 till noon, we give you the chance to play your favorites with the Sunday Morning Request and Dedication Program. 2 hours set aside to play what you want.
Hey, Cindy, what can I play for you today?
Forever and Ever Amen by Randy Travis.
Good morning, Ray. Could you play Coal Miner's Daughter for me?
I wonder if I could request Eagle When She Flies by Dolly Parton.
Sure could.
It's all brought to you by Matt's Furniture. Online at mattsfurniture.ca. True Fit Denture Clinic. No one should know you wear dentures, not even you. The Sunday Morning Request and Dedication Program with Ray Allen from country's greatest hits. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
And our location, Foam Lake. We're at the rec complex here. A lot of people walking through our doors looking at the work they've done to this place. Beautiful. It's just a great facility. We'd love you to come on by and get your ticket. If you'd like to call 1-888-453-1998. You can do that, or you can go and use an e-transfer at combinelotto.com. Now, we're in the sports cage, and I know a lot of the sports fanatics like to bet. If you love your odds, here's a lottery that's going to give you some fantastic odds and a big payout. $250,000 for a $100 investment. And if you want the combine, $330,000 for the combine cash towards the purchase of a brand new combine from any one of our participating dealers. Make sure you get your 50-50. It's the biggest it has ever been in over 30 years. Visa, MasterCard, 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
Howdy, y'all. It's Wood Country Woody again. Well, looks like new home prices are still higher than a giraffe on an extension ladder. But a custom and RTM home from Wood Country gives you what you're looking for at a price that's down to earth. They draft your home for your right in store. Then they custom build your home right on your site. Literally thousands less for a home you actually want. See Wood Country today.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale. Wood-country.com.
Does your Wi-Fi cut in and out or sometimes simply disappear? Well, maybe your Wi-Fi isn't slow, it's just not smart. Access Smart Wi-Fi Plus boosts and optimizes the signal in your home for a fast, solid connection for the entire family. It even lets you be in control of your children's screen time and add filters for age-appropriate content. Fast, strong, secure. That's Access Smart Wi-Fi Plus. Learn more at myaccess.ca.
Nelson Homes is having a summer blowout sale on quick possession homes that you don't want to miss out on. Get free delivery anywhere in Saskatchewan on select in-stock show homes and spec home RTMs. For more information, visit their website, homes.nlc.ca. Or for general information, call 1-800-661-6534. That's the Nelson Homes Summer Blowout Sale. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Come watch former pro and collegiate level players battle it out for the national championship. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. Get a full event pass for just $50 or grab a day pass for $20. Twilight games after 5 p.m. are only $10. Tickets are available at the gate. August 20th opening ceremonies and Home Run Derby are completely free. Bring a glove. These bats don't miss. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. See you at the park.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Hee
ho! It's the Ram Rodeo at Crestview Chrysler. That's right, folks. We got Ram trucks coming out the wazoo. So we're wrangling prices down with discounts of up to 18,200 buckaroos. Can you believe it? Ram Bighorns going for only $65 and change plus tax, or get 0% financing over 72 months on most models.
We also have an impressive selection of cars and SUVs.
But the Ram Rodeo's on right now at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Regina.
620 CKRM, a Harvard media station, broadcasting from Regina, around the world at 620CKRM.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News. Flights are being cancelled today for some Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge flights due to the labour disruption. Regina Airport Authority CEO James Bogus said they are seeing the impacts already.
So if you are booked with Air Canada flying out today or over the next few days, to please make sure you have your updated contact information, cell phone number, and email address on your itinerary so they can contact you directly if your flight is impacted.
James Bogus said very limited flights from Air Canada Jazz to Vancouver are expected to continue, but the majority of Air Canada flights are impacted. Saskatchewan Ag Minister Daryl Harrison officially kicked off the 2025 harvest season this week. Harrison acknowledged some areas have had difficult growing conditions compared to others.
But I know that in some parts of the province, weather conditions have been challenging this year, whether it's a lack of moisture or even above average rainfall. And even though things have been a bit more variable, we remain optimistic for a strong and productive harvest this year.
He reminds producers and the public to keep safety top of mind this fall. A Regina business suffered a major vehicle theft earlier this month, with 6 vehicles stolen and damages estimated at $130,000. Police say the crime likely happened overnight before being reported on August 9th. 4 vehicles have been recovered. 9 people now face charges ranging from theft to break and enter and possession of stolen property. Some suspects have already appeared in court, while one has a September appearance scheduled. The case remains active, and police are asking anyone with information to contact them or call Crime Stoppers anonymously. Provincially funded RCMP enforcement units have reported significant results in tackling crime during the first half of 2025. Teams executed more than 400 arrest warrants, seizing 49 firearms, over 13 kilograms of drugs, and more than $231,000 in cash. Officers also removed thousands of illegal cigarettes and conducted targeted enforcement against human trafficking, gang activity, and rural crime surges. Officials say the combination of local knowledge and specialized investigations continues to deliver safer communities by removing serious threats. The provincial government is providing updated information on highway construction across Saskatchewan. This week's report includes road widening west of Humboldt, resurfacing on Highway 8 between Moosomin and Rocanville, and the completion of repaving near Delisle. The projects are valued at nearly $19 million combined. Drivers are reminded to reduce speeds in work zones, watch for crews and equipment, and use the highway hotline for travel details. The goal is safe, efficient travel during construction season. U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have just left for their meeting at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson outside Anchorage, Alaska, to discuss the possibility of ending the invasion of Ukraine. Here's reporter Martha Raddatz.
He believes that is the key to all of this, put pressure on Vladimir Putin. Now, what happens in this meeting, whether Donald Trump puts pressure on Vladimir Putin, we will see, but this is quite a remarkable beginning with the red carpet and the two men walking together. I can't imagine that Zelensky feels good about that at all.
Trump said today that his talks with Putin will include Russian demands that Ukraine cede territory as part of a peace deal. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620CKRM.com. Your weather is next.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Yar, do you fancy yourself a bit of a price pirate?
Get ready to pillage and plunder Tuesday treasures at Freeze Tallman.
It's a treasure trove of clearance items on display at the bow.
Or the front of the store. With new items announced on Tuesday, you'll never know the bounty you'll find.
Check the website for updates or stop by the store in person.
Tuesday treasures. No treasure maps needed.
Visit freezetallman.com. Regina location only. Freeze Tallman.
Let's get you building.
620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast is for Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks at 1865 McCara Street. Tonight, cloudy with a chance of showers and a low of 9. Tomorrow, it's game day. Ticats and Riders, sunny, but it's going to be windy, gusting anywhere from 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, with a high of 24. For Sunday, cloudy and 26. For Monday, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 25. And for Tuesday, sunny and hot, high of 30. Right now, mostly cloudy and 19 in downtown Regina.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCara Street.
Yee-haw! It's the Ram Rodeo at Crestview Chrysler. That's right, folks. We got Ram trucks coming out the wazoo. So we're wrangling prices down with discounts of up to 18,200 buckaroos. Can you believe it? Ram Bighorns going for only $65 and change plus tax, or get 0% financing over 72 months on most models.
We also have an impressive selection of cars and SUVs.
But the Ram Rodeo's on right now at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Regina.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
The Friday edition of the Sports Cage continues. Hour number 2 underway. It's Maz here in for Barney. I've always thought it would be really neat to try, and have never done, dragon boat racing. Hi to everybody in Regina this weekend for the dragon boat races at Wascana Park tomorrow and Sunday. Should have some decent weather for it. Lots going on. Are you allowed to dragon boat race in a rider jersey? Probably. I don't see why not. And if you're the person that sits at the front of the boat, are you calling out the cadence for everybody to row? There's got to be a proper name for that. Maybe we'll get Colson on that. We can figure that out. Still to come on the Sports Cage, Luke Mullinder, Saskatchewan Roughrider color guy here on 620 CKRM, will join us in 1 hour's time. Jenna Beutler from the Whitewood Rodeo will be on just before 5 o'clock. But let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline right now and say hi to, he's had a busy day. He's the president and CEO of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Craig Reynolds joins us. Craig, welcome back. I'm assuming you've put on some serious miles today, because at the big press conference this morning in Saskatoon, you told us for the first time in 30 years, something's going to happen, and then there's going to be some bonus Rider football next year. This is a pretty good day if you're a Rider fan, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. No, yeah, it's been a busy day up to Saskatoon and back already, because obviously we got the Ticats coming here tomorrow, and looking forward to that one. But yeah, just a great day. The CFL announced that due to the 2026 World Cup, the Argos are going to be displaced for a few games, and we were fortunate enough to grab one of those games for our fans. And so we're going to have 10 regular season home games here for our fans. And then as a result of that, we were able to do something we've talked about doing for a long, long time, and that's hosting a preseason game up in Saskatoon. So we made that announcement up there this morning, which was great, and it's created some excitement, and we're just excited for our fans, because I think it's going to be a great season of now 11 home games in Saskatchewan in 2026.
I know Barney and I talked about this while training camp was on, the fact that a preseason game in Saskatoon may go a long way to introducing a lot of fans that maybe don't ever get a chance to come to Regina. For you as a club, how long were you guys seriously thinking about this, where it comes to the front burner to be like, okay, how do we make this work or whatever? Because it was on your radar as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. We've been talking about this for a long, long time. I mentioned the press conference this morning. Peter Stoichev, who's the U of S president, him and I have been talking about this for years. We have an opportunity to meet quite regularly, and they've been such great partners and gracious hosts when we host training camp up there. And so we talked about this. So we said, wouldn't it be great to host our preseason up in Saskatoon? And it just is around, just the logistics and how do we make that work. And then when this Toronto opportunity presented itself, we thought, okay, now's the time. Now's the time to do this. Or we're going to have 10 regular season games, but there's our season ticket package. Our season ticket members are going to get 10 home games at Mosaic, and then we can, have the preseason game in Saskatoon as a separate sort of game. And to your point, Maz, potentially and hopefully expose some folks in Saskatoon and surrounding area who might not have been able to watch a Rider game live in person before. So really excited about that.
Griffith Stadium, let's say for the Huskies, if it's 4,000 to 5,000, if there is going to be a preseason game, does that seating stay the same? Do they bring in extra stands? Like, what will happen for that preseason game as to, let's say we were up there a couple of months ago for training camp, will the stadium look different?
Yeah, it'll look slightly different. So we're actually going up there September 5th. So they have their annual homecoming game, and they get a really, really big crowd, and they activate the whole site there. And I know they have some tenting in what would be the north end zone area there, where they do some hosting and those types of things. So yeah, we've had some preliminary conversations with them. There's about 5,700 permanent seats there, but our goal is to try to get about 10,000 folks into the stadium for the preseason game. We think that's very, very doable. But yeah, we're going to go up there September 5th and sort of see it in action and see what we can learn from that.
Okay, great. A couple of texts to the Prairieland Rentals text line because of the announcement today. All from season ticket holders going, hey, for next year, I'm going to be buying my tickets. Is this included in what the 9 is? Is it extra? How does this work for if I'm a season ticket holder?
Yeah, those are great questions. And so that's what made this, for us make sense this year. So no, we're going to be hosting 10 games at Mosaic Stadium. Well, hopefully 11. Hopefully hosting that playoff game next year. But for sure 10 home games, but they're going to be 10 regular season games. So we're going to get Toronto here twice. So Toronto for when we host them, for our home game, and then Toronto when it's their away game versus us. So their season ticket packages are going to be including 10 regular season games. And then we're going to have this 11th game, and we're going to sell that separately. So there will be a process where we'll obviously have a process for season ticket members to express whether they're interested in those types of things, but it will be separately sold. So their season ticket package remains the same. There won't be any adjustment other than they'll get this additional regular season game versus a preseason game.
So last year it was Obsidian Green that made everybody talk about the Riders across the CFL and in the football world. And now today you do it again, because I don't think I've ever heard anybody ever have as much response or see chatter online with the social channels about a preseason CFL football game that's going to be played in late May or early June in Saskatoon, whatever. There's a whole bunch of people that are talking Riders today.
Yeah, it's great. It really is. And there's a lot of energy and excitement in Saskatoon, and that's what we had hoped for, again, to create a little bit of a buzz up there. It's great being up there for training camp, and we have our green and white game where we sometimes get, upwards of 4,000 people that come out just for that scrimmage. And so to actually have a preseason game at Griffiths, we just think it's going to be great for that city and again, that surrounding area. And those fans, Saskatoon fans, they travel down here to Regina all the time. Like there'll be thousands of them tomorrow who make that trek down to Regina. So it's really nice to be able to play a game in their hometown, in their backyard, and that commute will be much, much less for our Saskatoon fans.
Ticket count for tomorrow, what's left? I saw it earlier today, a post, it's dwindling until a sellout. Where are we at? What are the numbers telling us right now?
Yeah, so this is a Sportscage exclusive. I just actually got a note just before I came on air here, Maz, and yeah, we're officially sold out now. So it is a sellout for tomorrow, and we're gonna have 33,350 there, and the response has just been crazy. It's been exciting to watch. Our fans are excited. We're so thankful for them to be showing up the way they are for our football team. It makes a huge difference. It's going to be lively in here tomorrow. We can't wait.
Well, if there's one thing that maybe the Hamilton Ticats, they're one of the hottest teams in the CFL. They won 6 of 7, but they haven't had Rider Nation in a full house, not this season and not a long time. And that's the difference, because I remember Bo's been good, but when Bo would come to town, when he was a Stampeder and this place was loud, Bo had a little bit of trouble. And I'm not saying that he's going to have trouble tomorrow, but it's all that much more challenging or whatever. So that's going to be awesome. 1:00 kickoff should be a great day. Forecast, a little windy, whatever. Coin toss is probably going to be one of the most important plays of the game tomorrow. Gusting 40 to 60, but nice and warm, 24. Good day to drink beer, if you ask me.
Beautiful day. The start time's great. Like talking to folks up in Saskatoon this morning, I guess it was. So many of them are indicating they're coming down for the game. It's just so great for out-of-town fans to be able to come to the game, head home afterwards. And yeah, it might be a little windy, but the beauty of the stadium is it's designed to, eliminate the wind. And so it's never as windy in here as it is outside the stadium. But it's supposed to be a little bit of wind, and so that might affect the kicking game. And like you said, the coin toss will be important.
Colson, do you want to put this up? Now, Craig, I was away in July on vacation, and you may have been trying to get a hold of me. I don't know, maybe to schedule a meeting. I know we've had preliminary talks earlier in the season when you were on. So we've got the art department to work on some things. We've been spitballing some ideas. Maybe my emails aren't getting through about, the Teams calls we should start having about this, but there's a mock-up of the Pilsner Cup if you're watching on stream. It's beauty. Dave Thomas actually added something crazy. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. Apparently at Husky games, they let drunk kids in togas run around on the field. And I'm like, I don't know if we can have that even during the Pilsner Cup, maybe, but I can't commit to anything. Initial thoughts when you see the artwork. What's one of the first things that comes to mind?
Well, first, I think everything goes in the Pilsner Cup, right? So I think that's first and foremost. Secondly, your emails may not be getting through because they may or may not have been blocked. So apologies for that. But I love the artwork. I really do. I'm worried now the royalties we're gonna have to pay you though. That could be cost prohibitive now because we got to pay you royalties for this idea. So I'm a little worried about that. But looking at that art, I think I've got a sponsor in mind that might be willing to sponsor the Pilsner Cup for sure. So no, that's some good work right there. I don't know if you did that or Colson did that or who did that, but that's some nice work there. I think the Pilsner Cup's still got legs, Maz. It really does.
It does. That was Curtis and AI, and I don't know
how
long it took AI to spit that out or whatever. It may need a little tweaking. I don't know if it's there yet, but I will say we're going to have Jay McNeil, president of the Stamps, on Wednesday on the show, and we're going to ask him about the Stampede Bowl because that's been one of the highlights to me of the CFL season so far as things and ideas. I love the creativity, the trophy, the Brett Michaels or whatever. He's one of your peers. He's a president of a football club as well. What did you think of all of that when it went down? Then you see how it all played out.
I thought it was awesome. So Jay is not only a peer, but he's a really good friend of mine. Just a great human being. And yeah, just great idea. And they put so much energy and effort behind that. And it showed. And it was just such a successful event. And it's the first year, so I know they'll build on that moving forward. So, yeah, I thought it was a great event. I thought it created some really good early season buzz. It was a great football game, like the football games have been this year. They've been fantastic, and I thought Jay and team did a great job of marketing that and coming up with the idea in the first place and embracing the Stampede during there, which they've kind of avoided in the past. So yeah, I'm sure Jay will tell you all about that. But from everything I've heard, it was extremely successful, and kudos to them.
All right, Craig Reynolds. So let's see. A sold-out Mosaic Stadium tomorrow. Nice. There's going to be 10 regular season games at Mosaic Stadium next year for Rider fans, which is great. And then the big announcement today, the first preseason game. When was the last preseason game played in Saskatoon?
1991. The great Rob Vanstone told me that before I went up there this morning. So, yeah, 1991. So don't want to date myself, but I was in Foam Lake, Saskatchewan in 1990-91. So it's been a long, long time.
All right, so there will be a preseason game in 2026 at Griffith Stadium in Saskatoon. Craig, have a great night, and here's to a great day tomorrow. We'll see you at the stadium. It's Craig Reynolds, CEO and president of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline as the big announcement today as Rider Nation is taking over Saskatoon for not only training camp, but preseason in 2026. All right, it's time to take a break. When we come back on the show, Dave Thomas in an exclusive interview with Rider defensive star Roland Milligan, right here on the home of Rider Nation, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
And good afternoon. We're coming up to the supper hour here, and you know what? If you're a big sports fan, you got to love the fact that the Foam Lake Flyers have won a lot of titles here in the quaint community, and had a lot of great NHL players, hockey players go on to bigger careers. Bernie Federko, Ted Hargreaves, Dennis Polonich, Pat Elyanick, all cut their teeth here in Foam Lake. So if you love sports, you want to support a great community that loves their sports, this is it. Foam Lake Recreation Combine Lottery. Chance to win $250,000 in cash, or if you want the Combine, we'll give you $330,000 in Combine cash. And the 50-50, it's a big one. This is probably one of the biggest, for myself, without no doubt. Any small-town lottery, their 50-50s are nice, but this one is huge. We're at $116,000. That's the winner's share. That's a big 50-50. Get your tickets. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
Calling all Rider fans. The bonus deadline for the Rough Rider and Children's Hospital Foundation's lottery is midnight tonight. Score the ultimate fan tailgate prize, a 2025 Ranger Raptor packed with gear and Rider season tickets, or choose $85,000 in cash. Plus, there are over 1,000 more prizes, including your best chance to win $1 million. Don't miss out. Bonus deadline is midnight tonight. Get your tickets at riderschildren'slottery.ca. Lottery license LR250022. Please play responsibly.
Cal, did you bring your dog paddleboarding?
Of course, straight guy. He's my forever adventure buddy.
That's a full-grown lab on a tiny board.
He's not just any lab. He's a Cowtown-fed, nutritionally balanced, coat-glowing, joint-flexing, happy little hound.
You sound like you're doing an ad.
Well, this is an ad.
I guess.
And if he gets hungry, I pack beefy treats, even some salmon biscuits, all from Cowtown.
Is that a floating cooler?
He's a floating doggy buffet, straight guy. Even brought his orthopedic bed.
That thing floats?
Yes, unlike your fashion sense, the cowboy boots and Speedo thing just ain't happening.
In town, out of town, for top quality pet food, treats, and toys, it's gotta be Cowtown. Follow Cowtown Canada on Facebook.
Cal, why is your dog wearing sunglasses?
Oh, he's on Instagram. He's an influencer now. Thousands of followers.
Do you think he'd follow me?
Not in that bathing suit.
The Gleaner S9 Series combines are designed for farmers in the business of farming. A harvest is successful when a crop is harvested as quickly and efficiently as possible and produces a clean grain sample with little loss. The Gleaner combine offers levels of harvesting performance and efficiency other combines are unable to achieve. Simply put, Gleaner combines save more and cost less. See the Gleaner S9 at Nick's Service in Emerald Park or go to nickservice.com. The Gleaner S9, built with the farmer in mind.
Come watch former pro and collegiate level players battle it out for the national championship. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. Get a full event pass or grab a day pass. Don't forget about the Twilight Games, all the baseball you can handle. August 20th opening ceremonies and Home Run Derby are completely free. Bring a glove, these bats don't miss. The Baseball Canada Men's National Championships are coming to Optimus Park in Curry Field. See you at the park.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Doug had questions, he talked to Brian Gawley.
What I see with Brian is he actually puts in the time, and he spends his own money to go to conferences and get the latest up-to-date stuff, what's going on, and seems to have a passion for it.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
I would definitely recommend Brian because he's done well for us.
Call Brian Gawley of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
Back to Sportscage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Major League Baseball, American League. Toronto Blue Jays, Detroit Tigers, and Seattle Mariners lead their American League divisions respectively. Wild card teams right now could change, though. Houston Astros, Boston Red Sox, and the New York Yankees. Within striking distance, you've got the Cleveland Guardians and the Texas Rangers. Tonight, the Jays start a series against those Texas Rangers. Chris Bassett of the Jays going for his 12th win up against Jacob deGrom. First pitch at the Rogers Center will go at 5:07. It's Maz here. Sportscage on a Friday afternoon as we get ready for game day tomorrow. Saskatchewan Roughriders and Hamilton Ticats. It's going to be a 1 o'clock kickoff at Mosaic Stadium. And if you missed our interview with President and CEO of the Riders, Craig Reynolds, he told us about 10 minutes ago that tomorrow's game completely sold out. Rider Nation, good call. It's going to be a tough place to play for those Hamilton Ticats and Bo Levi Mitchell. Earlier today, voice of the Riders, Dave Thomas, had a chance to catch up with defensive star Roland Milligan Jr., and this is what he had to say.
The outside noise is that this is a battle of the two best teams in the Canadian Football League. Do you buy into that?
Nah, I ain't really worried about all the extra stuff. I just know it's the next game, and that's always the most important one.
There seems to be a lot of excitement, though, coming up against Hamilton. Is it just excitement from getting the opportunity to get back on the field from a bye?
Yeah, I think so. And then being able to play a team, we know it's going to be a fun game playing against those guys who, they're a very competitive team, very competitive group. So
there was a lot of talk this week, Roland, about making sure that you come out the right way from the bye week, having felt that perhaps you didn't do that against Calgary earlier in the season. Is that talk been warranted, and has that talk subsided at all?
No, it's still at the forefront of our minds. We can't come out flat like we did last time. They put up points fast and put up a lot of points, so we got to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do to handle business.
A lot of teams are building off the film that they saw that day with what Vernon Adams Jr. and the Calgary Stampeders were able to do. What have you tried to correct since then?
Just a lot of little stuff. It wasn't major, miscommunications or busting online. It's just little stuff that we've been talking through for the past weeks. It just wasn't this week,
You've been in this league long enough to know what Bo Levi Mitchell is all about. What makes him tick that you need to try to change in order to make it work in your advantage?
I think making him uncomfortable in the pocket is one thing. If he's comfortable back there, he's going to sling it. So I think with our D-line, sending pressure, just making him uncomfortable and not being able to set his feet and just throw in rhythm, I think that's big. And then not showing him what we're in pre-snap, just making him have to decipher things once he gets the ball in his hands and looks back up.
How hard is it not showing that pre-snap motion? Of course, if they do a stutter and stop kind of before the snap of the ball and all the noise that's expected in this stadium.
Just kind of figuring out when they like doing it the most and anticipating that. And then just not being scared of holding a little bit longer just to make them earn it.
Tell me about the secondary that's around you. Nelson Lacombo in his second year is safety, but then you've got the corners in Campbell and, of course, Sales, and then Fields on the other side of you. It seems like the group is working nicely together with a lot of chemistry. How do you see it?
I agree 100%. Not just, the guys in the field and the guys in the boundary. I talked to Fields even though we really don't get much reps beside each other. I talked to Revis even though we don't get much reps beside each other. And, with TC and Sales are interchangeable field and boundary, and then I'm always communicating with Nelson too. So that's it's been big for us. I think we've been getting a lot more comfortable with each other and, ready to display that.
When you look at the numbers, obviously a lot of passing yards have been given up. Talked to Coach Bell, and he said, don't worry about that. It's the fact that we need to get better and how comfortable he and confident he is in your group that can go ahead and make adjustments and are willing to make adjustments. Fair assessment?
Yeah, I think so. I got a lot of belief in our guys, too, that, even though all those things happen, we still were able to win games and just trying to be better than we were the week before.
Hamilton's got a heck of a receiving core. Kenny Lawler, of course, is probably the guy that's the primary target. Do your eyes light up when you get an opportunity to see an athlete like that and match up with him, or is it just another player?
It's always fun playing against the best guys. You know what he's going to bring to the table, so you got to be up for the challenge every time you play him. And, the respect is there mutually. So
the emotion level in this building is expected to be high with over 30,000 anticipated. What does that do for you, your emotion level, when you're out on the field?
It really doesn't change me. Try to stay as level-headed as possible. Don't want to be too high, too low. And then being able to use that, too, to our advantage when their offense is on the field, or, just keeping them uncomfortable with all the noise and stuff, because we're used to it.
We in the media like talking about measuring stick games and using those types of terms. You've mentioned you want to go 1-0 this week, but is it also an opportunity to prove that you are where you should be right now in terms of talent and performance on the field?
We're not really worried about all the measuring stick stuff. Like I said, we're just trying to be the best version of ourselves this week, and then just keep that going.
How do you keep the momentum that you had in Montreal? Perhaps one of the best defensive performances that this team has had.
Stay locked in, stay focused, be ready to attack, and then when they attack back, be ready to adjust and keep attacking.
That is Saskatchewan Roughriders star defender Roland Milligan Jr. here on the Sportscage in conversation with Dave Thomas. If you missed any part of that interview, you can always go back and listen or watch the podcast on demand on your schedule. You can get those at sportscage.com or on Apple or Spotify, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. And every time we upload a brand new episode, you'll get those in your feed. All right, it's time now to go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline and say hi to Jenna Beutler. She's from the Whitewood Rodeo Committee, and it's rodeo weekend in Whitewood. And there's a lot going on, including something that when I read, I'm like, I wonder how this came to fruition. Hi, Jenna Lee. First question for you. Is rodeo weekend in Whitewood one of the funnest weekends of the year to be in town?
Of course it is.
Nice. There's a lot going on. Pre-rodeo show tonight with the Indigenous Dance Troupe starts at 6:30. CCA rodeo performance goes at 7. And then in intermission, human chuckwagon races. Take me back to one of your planning meetings. Who brings up this idea? Who seconds the idea? How does this all work? I've never heard of this before.
So actually we did it for the first time last year. We were just at a meeting trying to figure out what we were going to do for intermission, and one of our committee members, I guess, kind of had this idea, and then we kind of kept adding to it, and it ended up being quite a bit of fun last year. Last year we had teams of 5. We had 2 people pulling kind of a wagon, 1 person riding in the wagon, and then 2 outriders on stick horses. We changed it up a bit this year. You don't have to have outriders this year. We're just going with a rider and 2 people pulling the chuck wagon. It was lots of fun last year, and I imagine it should be lots of fun again this year.
So how many teams will compete? I'm assuming there's a good amount of people that would sign up for something fun and crazy like this.
Well, yeah, we've kind of just left it that people can sign up when they get to the rodeo tonight. We're only taking a maximum of 8 teams. We only have so much time at intermission. And so they'll run 2 teams at a time, so 4 runs, and then the winners of the fastest 2 runs will run again in a final, I guess, to be the champion.
All right, it's one thing to watch them when they're being pulled by horses and you kind of feel exhausted at the end, but if you're running through the rodeo dirt and all that stuff, you've got to have some tired cowboys and cowgirls once all is said and done here.
Yeah, actually, the committee member who was kind of the main driver of it last year, he was on a team last year, and we were talking about, how many runs do we make, them do this year, and he said, well, people might die if you make them do it 3 times in a row, because it especially depends how big your rider is. The smart ones find a small kid to go in the wagon, but if you've got someone big in the wagon, it takes a lot.
And not that we're encouraging this, but if you had maybe a drink or two before you had to go out and do your human chuck wagon races, that's legal. That's A-okay. There's no one's going to be testing drivers or participants later for it. It's all in good fun, right?
It's all in good fun, yeah. And it's all about having fun. There's not too many rules surrounding it, so that's all good.
Nice. Rodeo performance at 7. So these are CCA rodeo cowboys and cowgirls. So see, these are some of the best in Western Canada. Is that a point of pride for you guys that this rodeo that you guys put on attracts some of the top talent in and around the Western provinces?
Yeah, for sure. There's, rodeos are getting harder and harder to put on all the time, more expensive, and so there's not. It seems like there's less CCA rodeos going on all the time, but this is our 20th doing that, and yeah, we're proud to still be able to bring that caliber of cowboys and cowgirls into our community.
All right, so tonight the rodeo performance goes at 7. Beer gardens open at 5:30, so we've got an hour. I'm sure they're stocking beers right now, moving ice, cups, you name it. And then there's entertainment afterwards. Then tomorrow, performance at 7. And the best part about rodeo for me, I'm a dad, I have 3 kids. Mutton busting tomorrow night, is that not one of the highlights of any rodeo anywhere, when you see the kids get a chance to go out and just be cute and have some fun?
Yeah, it's always a hit for sure. We get families that will come to the rodeo just for that, and it's usually full with 20 to 25 youngsters out there enjoying that.
It's rodeo weekend in Whitewood. Tonight things will kick off with the Indigenous Dance Troupe at 6:30, and then performance is 7. Same thing tomorrow. And weekend passes are $25. Day passes for adults are $15, and the kids 6 and under get in free. Jenna Lee, have a great weekend, and thanks for taking time to come on the Sports Cage this afternoon. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Not a problem. All right, we're going to take another break here on the cage, and when we come back, not only is there some CFL action tonight, you've got your Argos Elks NFL preseason action. We were teasing Farhan earlier about the Kansas City Chiefs being in Seattle, and if he was going to be saying hi to Taylor Swift. We'll dive into that NFL preseason schedule next. This is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Looking for the best gear at the best price? Extreme Hockey and Sport just raised the bar. Now, with a price match guarantee, find the same product anywhere else, show the price, and they'll match it. The gear you need, the service you trust, and the price you want. Why settle for anything less? Get the local loyalty and the price match guarantee only at Extreme Hockey. Any budget, expert fit. Your local sit and fit hockey shop. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, Regina's Hockey Shop.
620 CKRM on location.
And here we go. It's the final hour and about 20 minutes to push this great lottery here in Foam Lake, and all the draws coming up next week. In fact, August 25th at noon, we're going to make all the draws. The deadline is going to be August 21st, 8 p.m. So time's a factor. Don't sit on the fence any longer. Get to the phone. If you love playing odds, you love to try to get your chance to win, this is a big one. This is one that's one of the biggest in the province for small towns. $250,000 or $330,000 in combined cash. And our 50-50, always spectacular. Right now we're at $116,000, the biggest ever for Foam Lake, and that's the winner's share. That's what you're going to take home. That's not bad for a 3-pack for $50 or 10 for $100. Visa, MasterCard. You go to CombineLotto.com for more information, or just call 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Get ready for harvest with a used Case IH Combine from AE Chick 1 Farm Equipment in Storthoaks. They have a 2017 8240, 2019 8250, 2020 9250, 2021 8250, and 2023 8250. Call AE Chick 1 Farm Equipment, your local independent Case IH dealer in Storthoaks. 306-449-2255. That's 449-2255.
You say,
"Come on, yeah."
And your cows say,
moo.
So you tell them,
Your water is literally right over there.
and then they say,
Like, moo again.
your cows are divas and you can't make them move to the water, so move the water to the cows with the Kelm Solar Livestock Watering System. Off-grid, low hassle, cow approved.
Very moo.
Visit kelmsolar.com.
Does your Wi-Fi cut in and out, or sometimes simply disappear? Well, maybe your Wi-Fi isn't slow, it's just not smart. Access Smart Wi-Fi Plus boosts and optimizes the signal in your home for a fast, solid connection for the entire family. It even lets you be in control of your children's screen time and add filters for age-appropriate content. Fast, strong, secure. That's Access Smart Wi-Fi Plus. Learn more at myaccess.ca.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
It was great the other night at Curry Field when 1,700 fans showed up to watch the Regina Red Sox play in the WCBL playoffs last night. If you follow the Red Sox on their social media feeds, it was a record crowd of over 2,000 people that showed up. Not the result we wanted, but the Red Sox, Sylvan Lake Gulls, WCBL Final Game 1, success at Curry Field. It was packed. You couldn't move. Sox lose 3-2 in 11 innings. They need a win tonight to keep their playoff and season alive against Sylvan Lake. First pitch there goes at 7 o'clock. With a win tonight, they'll force Game 3, which will be played tomorrow night in Sylvan Lake. Go Sox. It's Maz doing the Sports Cage today for Barney. He'll be back in on Monday. Colson Schultz, one of the double C's, is also with us. Colson, I was thinking of this, probably one of the highlights of the week, and I don't know how you feel. I mean, we agree on some things. There's lots of things we don't agree on. I think the NASCAR prayer yesterday is probably one of the highlights of the show so far this week. There's been a few things.
Honorable Clutch Performer mention the NASCAR prayer.
Yeah. NASCAR prayer. Like, what did you think? It was spiritual, it was all that. Then he started talking about his hot wife, and then he was like, boogity, boogity. If you missed it yesterday, we'll drudge it up here in a few minutes. But it was one of the better spots of the show this week.
It's a moment of the week, that's for sure. Yeah. I'm always amused when somebody tries to do their own little spin on an anthem or something, and then they're showing B-roll shots of the players or whoever's there, what event it is, and you just see people's shoulders bouncing as they're trying to contain their laughter. Like, not necessarily because it's a bad performance, but just because it's an interesting genre, if you will.
As Sharky said yesterday, and he's been to a ton of NASCAR races, there is always a prayer before it starts. There's always the national anthem, and there's always a military flyby. And a lot of times when you're doing a prayer, as you know this, it's not usually time to bust out the ha-ha, right? It's very serious. So if you see this video, the drivers and the pit crews are kind of laughing because this guy is getting more and more animated and more crazy. And then everybody knew it was time to laugh when he starts talking about his hot wife.
Yeah,
so
I think I got it here, so let's try and run that.
Do that again.
And Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track.
Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa, and my 2 children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 boogity.
Colson, which leads me to believe, because now this is all taking shape. So the Pilsner Cup, we're flying in this guy to do the prayer before the football game. He can say whatever he wants to Rider Nation. I got zero problem. If Dave can have drunk kids running around with togas at halftime, I get this guy for the prayer before the football game. All right?
I'm pretty sure Dave said he wasn't sure how much pull he had and whether or not that could happen, right? So
are we after progress or are we after perfection? We're after progress here. Ideas are coming in. So that guy, Pastor Bob or whatever, and his smoking hot, well, I guess we got to bring 2 people because his smoking hot wife, I guess, has got to come up to the game at Mosaic.
Apparently, Pastor Joe Nelms from 2011.
That's his name?
Yeah. From the Nashville Superspeedway.
Nashville Superspeedway. Question for you, because the crowds aren't great. Where are you on NFL preseason football? Is that a must-watch? Is that it's on, there's nothing else on, I will watch it? Because for a sport that is so popular in the regular season, it seems so empty and unpopular in the preseason.
Yeah. Personally, I honestly never bothered to check it. Now that I have some work to do in sports and stuff like that, I will usually check scores and highlights and stuff like that to be aware of things. But past that, I had no, and still have pretty much no investment in the NFL preseason. I'm not like Barney throwing sprinkles here and there to make it more interesting.
Tonight, if you're going to sit down on the NFL Network, the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Tennessee Titans and the Kansas City Chiefs. Can you imagine how much merch and just everything in Chiefs world because of the Taylor effect this week and the Kelsey brothers and that podcast? They're in Seattle to take on the Seahawks. And people like me, I'm like, is Taylor going to be there? I don't care, but I'm asking that question. And I know a little bit about sports to be like, there's no chance she's going to a preseason game, right? No, There's no chance.
I saw a picture the other day. Have you seen the picture of Jason and Travis when they're in high school? And they just look like...
Yes.
Well, Jason, first off, looks like he's almost 30 with his beard and stuff. But they look like 2 high school football goons. And I saw a post where someone was like, would you believe that we got the most intimate interview out of Taylor Swift from these 2 goons? And I'm like, that's a very fair take, honestly. I would not have expected that.
There's no journalist... Trust, I worked music radio for a long time. And when you interview people, especially, and in sports too, these people are programmed. They're like robots. They have stock answers. It's very rare that you get... See, it's funny. People go on Rogan because it's Rogan. They'll be honest. They'll be real. Same with Howard Stern before he went woke. You get the real person because he could get those answers out of you. Taylor Swift was more honest and real than she has been in 20 years. Why? Because there was some trust there. And she knew the upside too. She knows clicks, likes, and listens. She's got a new album to promote. It's not why she went on there, but she knows it's all part of business.
Yeah, and another big part of it, another big part of it, it wasn't live TV. They could edit and clip things out that they didn't want, right? So there was some trust in that too, where we're like, hey,
sure.
If I say something and then I'm like, wait, I want to backtrack on that. Right, so
I bet you they didn't edit anything at all. I'm looking at this NFL preseason schedule tomorrow.
I've watched most of it now. They edited a few bits and pieces. You can tell when it jumps, but still.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a podcast, right? Every so often you mix up a question or an answer, and you're like, let's start this over again, right? It's a podcast, so I also think they put a little blooper at the end when she announces her album. Spoiler: they did a little confetti pop and whatever, and then at the end of the episode, they reveal that apparently when Travis threw the confetti up, he threw some into her mouth, and so they had to redo that because she was eating confetti while trying to say, yeah, this is my album.
Nice. Taylor, you sold out. I thought it was 100% all real unedited. Hey, tomorrow night, if you like torture, and you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, tomorrow night the Dallas Cowboys take on the Baltimore Ravens in NFL preseason action. If you can't wait to the regular season to watch the Cowboys fall off the rails, tomorrow night, those Baltimore Ravens. It's game day in less than 24 hours here in Rider Nation. Riders Ticats tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and voice of the Riders, Dave Thomas, had a chance to catch up with star running back A.J. Ouellette.
A.J. Ouellette, I want to talk a little bit about preparation when it comes not only to opponents, but maybe your year-over-year preparation within Mark Mueller and his system. Is it more comfortable? Have you approached it any differently moving in to a second year with the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
Yeah, preparation. I mean, I'm sticking to a routine. I've had the same routine since about week 1. So I get in there, I get my lower body lift early, my upper body lift, and then today being a mobility day, I'm just trying to get the hips moving and taking care of myself after practice. And then working with Mark, second year, I'm not afraid to kind of voice my opinion. It's going to be after practice, it's going to be in the meeting room when I'm like, hey, what do you think about this or that? And I'm learning a lot more about the offense with him kind of explaining why we do things a certain way.
We see you on the field. Obviously, you're a physical presence, but bringing that mental focus and mental approach to the game, is that taking you to a new level as an athlete?
Yeah. I mean, understanding the offense as a whole, right? So we haven't seen a whole lot of it yet, but I'm expecting it to pop off later on in the year, just understanding pass routes, like where all the receivers are related to me in my pass. So trying to keep them open, and if they're covered, that means I have to be in a certain position and to make sure I'm getting the most yardage possible. And then, running the ball, working with Andrew and Mark, I mean, we've seen it. It's been great.
You get to work with Andrew again. Has he brought anything different to your game that you can say, yeah, I hadn't thought of that approach?
He's pretty much the same when it comes to the mindset of running the ball. He's just a little more pushy now as a coach than a teammate. So, and I would like to point out his indie drills are quite competitive and exhausting, which, I mean, is just helping us with conditioning later on in the season.
Tell me then a little bit when it comes to the mental preparation, when you're talking with other athletes, whether it be other football players or, as you were mentioning, Alva Stoico, a figure skater, is that what you pick their brain on? Is mental approach? Is that the primary thing that you want to take from other people?
I kind of let the athletes kind of talk, and where they lead the conversation is probably where they're more comfortable or what they know. So if there's an athlete that starts talking about strength and conditioning, I'm going to pick their brain about that, obviously. But him being so technical, like his sport's so technical, right? Like a minor error costs points and all that. So like his mindset is by far the most important thing. So obviously he's going to be fine-tuned on that. So yeah, I'm going to pick his brain on that as much as I can.
Lastly, for me, when it comes to that physical training, you underwent a massive transformation in the off-season. How has that helped you thus far in the season as we're nearing the midway point?
I think I just reset the body, right? Going into season, starting fresh, feeling good. That was the main point of that restart, that kickstart, I guess, was just to make sure I'm going into the season feeling the best I can, because it's a long season. We're almost halfway through now, and yeah, feeling good.
Every Sunday morning, wake up to country music legends on 620 CKRM. Sunday Morning Classics. Celebrate the legends that paved the way and define the heart and soul of country music. Relive the unforgettable classic hits and the legacy of country's greatest artists. Join us this Sunday and every Sunday as we honor the icons who brought country music to life. It's a journey through the rich history of country music. Sunday Morning Classics for Regina Funeral Home and Cemetery. Sundays at 8 a.m. on the Voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
And a good afternoon. Thank you, Saskatchewan. If you bought your ticket, we appreciate your support from the past. We appreciate your support this year. And if you love playing the odds, I know we're in the sports cage. We had just a great history of sports figures that have come through here to play. Bernie Perderko, one of my all-time favorites, went on to play with Saskatoon and then went to the St. Louis Blues. Got his start, cut his teeth here in Foam Lake. Dennis Polonich, Pat Elyanick, Ted Hargreaves, just some great, outstanding hockey players and curlers. A lot of good curlers in the area. So if you appreciate your sports figures and you love playing odds, this is your lottery. The Combine Lottery here in Foam Lake, a chance to win some big bucks. $250,000 for a $100 investment. And think of it as an investment because you're investing back in Saskatchewan. Show your love, Saskatchewan. Ask about that 50-50. Get your tickets and a whole lot more. 1-888-453-1998. That's 1-888-453-1998.
Calling all Rider fans. The bonus deadline for the Roughrider and Children's Hospital Foundation's lottery is midnight tonight. Score the ultimate fan tailgate prize, a 2025 Ranger Raptor packed with gear and Rider season tickets, or choose $85,000 in cash. Plus, there are over 1,000 more prizes, including your best chance to win $1 million. Don't miss out. Bonus deadline is midnight tonight. Get your tickets at riderschildren'slottery.ca. Lottery license LR250022. Please play responsibly.
At the cabin or on the farm, Access Rural Internet gives you speed and service you can rely on. Right now, get Access Rural Internet for as low as $69.95 a month for 24 months, including free service calls by our local techs, a free Wi-Fi router, and a strong, reliable signal matched by our strong, reliable customer service. Great service is never far away with Access Rural Internet. Visit myaccess.ca to book your free site survey.
Hey, let's hit up Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Pump? You talking about my basketball shoes?
No, Pump Jack's Cathedral.
Who?
Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. They're open now. They've got a large selection of local draft and food and drink specials. Kids are allowed until 8. There's live entertainment every weekend.
Let's go. I'm pumped.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
Nelson Homes is having a summer blowout sale on quick possession homes that you don't want to miss out on. Get free delivery anywhere in Saskatchewan on select in-stock show homes and spec home RTMs. For more information, visit their website, homes.nlc.ca. Or for general information, call 1-800-661-6534. That's the Nelson Homes Summer Blowout Sale. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Soak up the last stretch of summer and get set for what's next at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's Hot Summer Deal Sale. Save 30% on Reef sandals, designed for all-day comfort with cushioned footbeds and grippy soles that hold up on docks, trails, or patios. Take $500 off select Zeiss rifle scopes, built for razor-sharp clarity and low-light precision when it matters most. Plus, outfit your boat and save 20% on Scotty accessories. Hurry, the Hot Summer Deal Sale ends Sunday at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
Are you relying on credit cards to make ends meet? Are you making just the minimum payment and carrying a balance month after month? It's time to break free from the debt spiral and take control of your finances. I'm Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. During a free consultation, I can explain all your debt relief options and stop your credit card bills from piling up. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
Regina is hosting the Baseball Canada Men's National Championship August 21st to 24th at Curry Field and Optimus Park. Exciting baseball action with 10 teams from across the country. Full details at reginatrappers.ca. Join the North Saskatchewan Business Association for its first ever Popcorn and Entrepreneurs event in Regina, September 10th at the AGT Lounge inside Mosaic Stadium. Networking, popcorn, and a documentary highlighting one of the province's most influential entrepreneurs, Paul Hill. Visit nsbasask.com. And Danceland at Manitou Beach presents SCMA multi-award winner JJ Voss and a damn good band. Saturday, September 13th. A barbecue buffet or burger and beer and a bus tour departing from Regina. Tickets at danceland.ca.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
The WCBL Championship continues tonight in Sylvan Lake. The Regina Red Sox need a win to keep the series alive. They lost 3-2 last night in 11 innings at Curry Field in front of a record crowd of over 2,000. If Game 3 is needed, that'll be tomorrow night in Sylvan Lake as well. The Jays start a series with the Texas Rangers at Rogers Center. First pitch is about 15 minutes away. The Riders announced they will play a preseason game in Saskatoon in 2026, the first preseason game since 1991. In the CFL tonight, the Elks are home to the Argonauts. Tomorrow it's a doubleheader. Riders and Ticats at 1, officially sold out. Thank you very much. Alouettes and Lions will go at 5. NFL preseason tonight. Titans take on the Falcons, and the Chiefs play the Seahawks. PFC this weekend, the Regina Thunder play the Colts in Calgary on Sunday. And the playoff round at the Holinka Gretzky Cup is on. Canada lost 4-3 in a shootout to the U.S. Blake Zelensky scored the winner for Team USA. Sweden beat Finland 6-5 in overtime, so Sweden and the U.S. will play for gold. And Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh both signed their standard player agreements today with the Regina Pats. And that's your sports ticker for Extreme Hockey.
This is 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Available everywhere in high-res audio with the CKRM app.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound in Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Saskatchewan Agriculture Minister Darrell Harrison officially kicked off the 2025 harvest season this week. Harrison acknowledged some areas have had difficult growing conditions compared to others.
But I know that in some parts of the province, weather conditions have been challenging this year, whether it's a lack of moisture or even above average rainfall. And even though things have been a bit more variable, we remain optimistic for a strong and productive harvest this year.
He reminds producers and the public to keep safety top of mind this fall. Flights are being cancelled today for some Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge flights due to the labour disruption. Regina Airport Authority CEO James Bogus said they are seeing the impacts already.
So if you are booked with Air Canada flying out today or over the next few days, to please make sure you have your updated contact information, cell phone number, and email address on your itinerary so they can contact you directly if your flight is impacted.
Bogus said very limited flights from Air Canada Jazz to Vancouver are expected to continue, but the majority of Air Canada flights are impacted. Police are investigating a large vehicle theft in Regina that saw 6 vehicles stolen from a business in the 500 block of 12th Avenue East. The theft, reported on August 9th, is believed to have occurred overnight, with losses valued at about $130,000. 4 vehicles have since been recovered. Over 6 days, 9 people have been charged with various offenses, including break-and-enter, theft, and possession of stolen property. Several suspects have already appeared in provincial court, and the investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. The provincial government is providing updated information on highway construction across Saskatchewan. This week's report includes road widening west of Humboldt, resurfacing on Highway 8 between Moosomin and Rocanville, and the completion of repaving near Delisle. The projects are valued at nearly $19 million combined. Drivers are reminded to reduce speeds in work zones, watch for crews and equipment, and use the highway hotline for travel details. The goal is safe, efficient travel during construction season. The Pan American Health Organization says Canada has the highest number of measles cases on the continent.
As of August 8th, the regional agency has recorded over 10,000 cases of measles across 10 countries. Canada leads the pack with 4,500 cases, particularly in Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, and Ontario. The agency says more action is needed to address low vaccination rates. Vaccine coverage rates in the region are 79% for the 2 doses needed, which is below the recommended 95% to prevent outbreaks. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
And President Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin have started their Alaska summit with a warm handshake today. They greeted each other like old friends before heading into discussions that could reshape the war in Ukraine and relations between Moscow and Washington. The summit gives Trump a chance to prove he is a master deal maker and global peacemaker. For Putin, it's an opportunity to negotiate a deal that would cement Russia's gains. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders aren't invited. The meeting could have far-reaching implications, with foreign governments watching closely. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
This back-to-school season, don't be prehistoric.
Mom, my phone is basically a fossil.
Sweetie, your phone's older than a T-Rex.
Time to evolve at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
They have new phones, back-to-school deals, internet and Max TV stream, and no extinct data plans.
In 2025, there's no excuse to roam with a Jurassic phone. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel, echosound.ca.
Your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast is brought to you by Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com and on all socials. And also for Line-X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCarra Street. Now, your Precision Weather Forecast.
Tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with some isolated showers and a low of 12. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny and a high of 25. Tomorrow night, isolated showers and thunderstorms, then mainly clear with a low of 15. Sunday, early showers and then some sun. A risk of showers and thunderstorms again at night with a high of 29. Monday and Tuesday, mostly sunny both days and highs of 30 and 31. Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is 16, Swift Current is 19, Assiniboia 20, Broadview Moosomin 20, Yorkton Melville 18, Estevan 22, and Weyburn is 21. Right now in Moose Jaw, it's cloudy. Winds are from the northeast at 13, and it's 20 degrees. Regina is mostly cloudy. Winds are from the north at 14, and it's 17 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
620 CKRM on location.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders made a big announcement today in Saskatoon. 2026 will see the first preseason game played at Griffith Stadium since 1991. Hard to believe. right? And because of the World Cup, which is happening at some off-site locations, including Toronto next year, Toronto is going to be moving 3 of their home games out of the stadium that they play in, and one of those games will be moved to Mosaic Stadium. So there will be 10 regular season Rider games next year. A little extra Rider football for Rider Nation. It's a good day. Oh, and by the way, the game tomorrow against Hamilton is now officially sold out. We had a chance to chat with Craig Reynolds, the president and CEO of the Riders, last hour. If you didn't happen to catch that conversation, you can go back and check out the podcast online at sportscage.com or wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple and Spotify. Final hour of the show on this Friday afternoon. It's Maz here in for Barney. He'll be back in on Monday. All right, let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline and bring in one of my favorite people. I love the analysis. I love how he does it. He's your longtime color guy of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He's Luke Mullinder. How are you, my friend? We haven't chatted in a long time.
I know,
good.
Maz, I missed you, man. How you been?
Good. Haven't seen an invite to come by the pool or have any brisket on the smoker, but I'll check the junk mail. Maybe it got lost there somehow.
Don't worry, you're in a long line of folks that haven't gotten that invite, man. We've just been busy, so we got to make it happen. I'm thinking Labor Day, but we'll figure it out.
Ooh, a nice little Labor Day. Quick question, because your son Luther is one of the stars of this show when you do your hits from home. Is Luther going to be making an appearance here? Is it going to be a surprise, or when should we expect to have Luther on?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure that out. Actually, he overheard you now, so of course I think he's coming over now. Yeah, so thanks for that.
Anytime.
But he's in a swimsuit though, so.
I'm inside of my dish, just like 2 seconds.
Thanks a lot, man.
I love live radio. This is no edited podcast like Taylor Swift, Jason, and Travis Kelce. Everything that happens here is live.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, he's in his sketch. So we're 9 games in, right? 8 games of the Riders. From last year to this year after 8 games, because keep in mind, this was when the losing streak was going on. Are you seeing, because you've been around a lot of coaching staffs, the year-to-year progression that you need to see to have teams that are building to championship caliber qualities?
That's a great question. I think that I was thinking about this actually. So I'm pretty excited about this game. So I've been thinking about this for a minute now, and I was talking to a couple guys in the building today. Last year, every time there was a big game, there were times, for instance, the Western Conference is an example, right, where the Riders just didn't really match up to what they really wanted to do. I think, right, fell short. Let's say.
Yeah.
I've said this is a really big game at least twice this year. Specifically, last 2 weeks ago in Montreal. And I remember saying it in BC. I remember saying because BC was looking like a team that was going to really compete for the West. And then Montreal, one of the hardest places to play, a team that was on the up, one of the best defenses in the league. And I feel like, and I want to knock on wood when I say this, though, but this year during the big games, the Riders have really responded. It's been good.
Yeah.
It's been, and it isn't, and I haven't been responding in like just sort of, I mean, sure, but BC, for instance, was an absolute blowout, right? That game was a lot closer on the scoreboard at the end of the game than the actual game was. Montreal, that was dominance.
Blowout. Oh.
The Alouettes did not pass the 48-yard line, period. They needed 2 55-plus yard kicks to score points. That's how dominant that effort was. And so I think it's a real positive step. I think that in the moments where folks are now like, oh, man, this is a big game coming up, I think that the Riders have done a great job preparing, focusing, and executing. And they're going to need all 3 of those tomorrow.
That Montreal game, nobody predicted a 28-point blowout. There was nobody had the guts to say that. Even the most delusional Rider fan. I thought if they won by 10, wow. Luke, the next time they play the Montreal Alouettes, if they get some of their players back and injuries back, I expect, and do you expect a completely different game if Montreal has a bit of a healthier roster that they can field for that game? Will it look a little different?
I mean, you can make excuses all you want for the Montreal Alouettes. They flat out didn't show up, and they get paid too, right? Hold on a second. Live radio, man. I'll tell you what. Of course, everybody's coming to the house now. Hold on a second.
I love it.
I don't. I sit here, try to work, and my dog goes off. Anyways, yeah, I don't want to make excuses for the Montreal Alouettes. I'm pretty sure they're not making excuses. And by the way, they had their whole defense, right? So,
okay.
So I just think that with Hamilton coming in here, my God, hold on.
Luke's dealing with his dog at the moment. This is like with Luke Mullinder, color voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, is joining us. It's great. I don't know. Yesterday I had one of those box delivery meal services at the front door, and he was a good salesman. But no. I said we're old school.
Man,
we do all of our
sorry,
own cooking.
Guys, this is completely unprofessional. My fault. So what were you saying again, Mass?
Let's jump to tomorrow. Hey, Hamilton's defense. They've gotten better since the season has gone on. Brent Monson, first year, they're starting to put together. They're doing some things because it's that Calgary, it's that coaching tree. It's the Mace, it's the Monson, it's that coaching tree from Calgary. Very similar in ways. What have you liked about Hamilton's defense over these past few weeks where they've been on this winning streak?
I like Monson because I think that when you line up the teams, player for player, I think that the Riders are probably better personnel wise.
Sure.
But I think the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and you're right, Monson does a great job. I've always liked him. I liked him in Calgary, and I think that he's of the same mindset of Mace. But again, I think that tomorrow the difference possibly can be the defenses. I really do think so, right? Like, because when you look at both offenses, you look at Bo Levi Mitchell and his offense, and they're an explosive group, right? Like, they can turn the game on a dime. You look at Saskatchewan, who's approached things really methodical. I think that whatever defense comes tomorrow and brings strategically, but physically too, I think that's going to be a big key to the game. I look at the special teams as a big opportunity for Saskatchewan because, again, the return game for Saskatchewan as of late, we've had a couple youngsters in there, right? They haven't really done what we're used to seeing Mario Alford do very early on in the year. So do you get a little bit more out of your special teams? And fortunately, due to injury, obviously not, player-wise, unfortunately, but due to injury, they're missing one of their returners, right? So I think there's going to be opportunities. But, yeah, like whatever defense does better, I think, tomorrow against both offense, because again, these offenses, man, they're tremendous offenses, right? But again, they do look, and if you look at the numbers, they're almost identical number wise. It's just to this point, it feels like they've gotten things done in different ways. So defensively, that's going to be sort of the big spotlight. Both defenses, Monson, Monson knows Mueller, right? And you got Mace in there who's done well, and yeah, I just think that tomorrow there's so many things that are going to go into this game. That's what makes it exciting. It's not sort of one like, hey, this is one thing that's going to determine. Defense is a big part of it, though.
Kenny Lawler's been held in check for the last 3 games for the most part. He's still made catches and all that. If you're the Riders, if you got to be Coach Mace here, because you've done this before when you guys have had to scheme against some really good receivers, how do you attack it? Because the Riders do play zone. Do you play man on him? Like, what do? Do you put 2 guys on him? Like, how do you? Because he's had, Luke, Lawler in the past, Bombers, Elks, he's had good games against us. He kind of has had our number before.
Yeah. And if you look at, I think that his ability to compete for the high ball is what separates him, right? Like you can scheme a guy open, and you can right, and you can defend a guy. I think that what you got to do with the Ticats offense, they've got White, they've got Lawler. Who's their third guy?
Shamar Bridges.
So you've got to take out. There's like a 3 amigos there. You've got to take out the 3 amigos, right? I think that if the Saskatchewan Roughriders, defensively especially, if they're successful, one of the things that they're going to do is it's Keandre Smith I was talking about. Sorry. So they've got Smith, Lawler, and Tim White, right? I think that if you take those guys and you focus schematically on those guys, you're not going to hold all of them. But if your scheme focuses on taking those three guys out of the game, this is just my view on it. If your scheme focuses on taking those three guys out of the game, then you slow down the offense of Bo Levi Mitchell. Let's try to turn him into like check down Charlie, right? Okay. So if he's going to the backs, if he's going low to medium, that's fine. I feel like they don't want to go slow in Hamilton. They want to hit big, right? Yeah, they want to run the football, but they want to hit big. And that's what they've been really good at, right? You look at every single Hamilton highlight, it's a downfield play. So I feel like if you limit the downfield plays, especially at Lawler, do you bracket the guys? Yeah, probably, right? But you can't bracket everybody on the field, right? But I think that's the key right now. It's a little bit. I think you just got to figure out a way to turn Bo Levi Mitchell to his checkdowns. As long as he's checking down, we're good. Right? The minute he starts actually hitting over the top, then they start getting some momentum. I mean, look at them, the way they're finishing in the fourth quarters, man. That it's really impressive. But if you can slow them down, if you can turn them into a check down offense, I think that's the key.
The over-under tomorrow is 53.5. And I'd mentioned earlier in the week, this could be a game where the first half you may not see much. Maybe it's a 17-10, 17-13, and then the shootout or the highlights or the fireworks come in the second half once the feeling out is done. And people are, because eventually somebody is going to get antsy and, like you had said, going to want to make a big play. Can you check down forever? Who's got more patience? Is it Mark Mueller and Trevor Harris, Scott Milanovic? But Dave, the stat, I didn't believe this. The Riders have gone deep more this year than Bo Levi Mitchell and the Hamilton Ticats. I was like, what? You're kidding me. That's Bo's MO. That's
a big stat. But I think that Hamilton's been a juggernaut in the fourth quarter, right? And that's where you're really going to need, and this sounds like, obviously when I talk about Hamilton being a monster, one of the ways to squash that monster that they are in the fourth quarter is being able to control the tempo offensively, right? Let's get into position, in a close game especially, where we can give a heavy dose of A.J. Ouellette, right? Heavy doses of A.J. Ouellette in the fourth quarter, one of the things that's going to yield are high percentage throws. And what high percentage throws, especially for Trevor Harris, who's over 75%, right? Like this guy's rolling, right? But it's because of the heavy dose of Ouellette / high percentage throws that they get themselves into, right? Now we're controlling that tempo. Now we're kind of squeezing the field, and now we're putting Hamilton, their backs against the wall. But again, you've got to continually. So I think that's going to be a big key. Heavy dose of A.J. Ouellette in the fourth quarter. If the game's close, control the tempo, keep Hamilton's offense off the field, right? But more importantly, if they do come on the field, put them in situations where they're going to have to really think on their feet, where they're going to have to go quick, right? Because the clock's not going to be their friend.
BC, Calgary, and Winnipeg have had to deal with adversity so far this year and win some games and prove themselves, basically. They've had to do some comebacks. They've had to do some other stuff. So far to this point, the Riders haven't faced a ton of adversity. I think you kind of need that. If you're going to be a championship team, you got to find out when the chips are down. Look at last night in Winnipeg. It would have been very easy to fold the tents after giving up a 117-yard missed field goal for a touchdown that ties the game. A lot of guys could have packed it in, but the Bombers stuck it out and hung around. And they're 5-5. And your ex-roommate said on Monday, one Darian Durant, the West Division standings do not matter. In the West Division, records, throw them out. Anybody can beat anybody. You cannot look at that. It means nothing. When I saw Winnipeg last night, I'm like, Ottawa screwed themselves by leaving too much time on the clock. But the Bombers had to make good on it, and they did, and they won because they know how to win. That kind of stuff, you need that as we get into the stretch run here, or the teeth of the schedule, as everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I think that I'm glad you mentioned Ottawa. I think that Ottawa, I mean, you shoot yourself in the foot and you're getting dominated in the first half, right? You've got to make a miraculous effort to even get back into the position. And you're right? Castillo misses a kick. Pimpleton takes it back to the house, right? But again, if that's the way Winnipeg's going to win, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I think that's a good thing for the rest of the West Division, right? Winnipeg's clearly, I'm not sure what it is, and to be honest, I haven't watched them a ton this year, right? But again, there's something that's preventing them, I think, from making that next step in games, right? Like Ottawa in reality shouldn't have come back in that game at all. That shouldn't have been right. And so I think that that's kind of, I think that that's a big sign. I really do, and I think that that's why you're seeing the Calgarys of the world stepping back in. I think BC, if they can find some consistency, they'll still be good. But Doubles is right. In the Grey Cup, when the two final teams get to the Grey Cup, the West team has beat themselves up, right? They're getting in there, but man, they're beat up, they're bruised, they're bumped up. And the Eastern teams, they tend to come in a little bit fresher, right? And that's kind of the way I looked at it when I played, and that's kind of the way you look at it. I mean, look at the last few Grey Cups, right? But again, it's two very different mentalities. I feel like the Western Division, man, you just punch and punch and punch, and the team that gets in there into the Grey Cup is the one that took the final punch better than obviously everybody else did. But I think that's why the Saskatchewan Roughriders have a chance this year. I think that especially in those big games, I mean, there hasn't been a ton of like major games like this one tomorrow, right? But the ones that have meant something or have had something to do with like, hey, this is a great test, or this is a litmus type of thing. The Riders have played really well, and I think that they need to continue to figure out how to harness the energy during the week, right? Because obviously Montreal was a great practice week, and this one needed to be a great practice week. So the key, I think, was figuring out, hey, guys, I know that we were on the bye when we were preparing for Montreal. I know that we weren't when we went to BC and blew them out, but what are the things that we were successful at during the week in those games? Because we need to harness the same type of energy. Because again, Hamilton's going to look at this the same way, man. This is a big opportunity for them, right? Like, because as much as they're winning right now, if we're being honest, there's still a lot of people going, right?
I know. Paper tigers. Like, there's nothing real there. People said too, hey, the Riders they beat who they've needed to beat, but it wasn't the opposing team's records not exactly great. But hey, better for us to win those games than lose them.
Yeah. But that's what makes this game great, right? Hamilton's got a lot of FUs to give out if they can compete in this game, right? You know what I mean? Like I feel like they're a team that's being disrespected. Honestly, I really do, right? Like they're at the top of the Eastern Division, and everybody's only talking about Bo Levi Mitchell, right? Like this is a team that deserves to be talked about from their holistic roster standpoint. So I think that there's a lot of respect on the line, and that creates a chip on the shoulder. And for the Riders, again, you're looking at. You basically sold out the game. I think they did sell out the game.
They did.
And this is one of the better teams in the league. You got to continue answering the bell, right? Because there's going to be naysayers if you don't answer the bell in the big games, right? But that's the nice thing. They've answered the bell every single time they've needed to this year, and I think again they've got the ability to answer the bell tomorrow. But it's going to have to go well.
Let's go back to your playing days, because tonight's game between the Argonauts and the Elks, both teams have 2 wins. It's not exactly going to script. Right. As a player on both sides, a lot of inconsistency for whatever reason. At this point, you as a player, how do you stay positive? There's Luther making an appearance on the Sportscage.
The way you stay positive is you continue to focus on the things that you can control, right? Okay. You're banged up. Okay, get into treatment. Don't miss treatment, right? There's some mistakes that you saw as a team last game when you looked at it from an offensive or a defensive or a special teams perspective. Get in there and figure out what went wrong, right? How much film are you watching, right? The things that you can control. We don't control if there's a blizzard tomorrow, if there's a hurricane, we still got to play, right? If there's a little bit of smoke in the air, still got to play. There are things that you're not going to be able to control about this game. So the things that you can't control all throughout the week, those are the things that you need to focus on, right? Those are the things that that get you feeling good on game day, right? When you can make those mental checkoffs in your head on game day, man, I feel good about this because I was in treatment. I treated my body right. I put all the right things in my body this week, right? I'm hydrated. Despite it not being the warmest out, I still understand that I've got to be hydrated. Right? My family, my mental space as well. My family's doing well. Things like that. Those are important, and those are the ways that players can really sort of stay on top and continue to feel good about themselves. Realign themselves with the things that they can control, and that's probably the key. I mean, and that's what separates guys. One of the things that separates people who have longer careers than from the people that have shorter ones, right? Their ability to actually stick to the main thing, right? Keep the main thing the main thing. Coaches will say it all the time.
After tonight, unless it's a tie, the Elks would be 2-7. The Argos would be 2-8. We had Nick Lewis on the other day, and he talked about having strong leadership in the locker room. For the team that loses, is this where a weak locker room falls apart and then the chaos starts if it hasn't started already? Because there's not a lot to look forward to because it's not even Labor Day, and it seems like this thing is over.
Well, it's funny. I've been in this situation, unfortunately, like that. In 2011, we were in that situation. I got traded, thank goodness. I remember Brendan Taming did me a huge favor, got me out of there. At least that's the way I felt at the time. I didn't want to leave, but man, we were bad. But it's funny, though. This is one of those leagues where you can start 2-8 and still win a Grey Cup. So that's the first thing, right? That's the first thing that'll start because obviously, especially in the Elk organization, they're a proud organization. You talk about those things, right? Like, look, guys, we do need to right the ship. However, this is a league in the CFL where 1 in 8 teams have gone on to win. BC in 2011, right, is a perfect example of that. Right? They started, I think they started bad too. There have been times where teams have started the season terribly. That's why I think you have the narrative of the whole, oh, don't worry, season doesn't start till Labor Day anyways, right? Because you are capable of making that grind. So I think that's one of the things and the narratives in a locker room that can keep you from just totally losing focus, right? But you're right. The teams that say that and still aren't able to harness themselves getting back to the things that are going to make them successful, they aren't, right? And Nick's right. The leadership in the locker room, that's what enables the ability to either refocus and move forward and start stepping up, or just be in the same place. And I think that, I've been on teams, especially very early on in my career, right, where we were a team that I think it was 2006 especially. We were a team that thought we could compete for the Grey Cup. And when I started thinking, when I won a Grey Cup, but then when I got a little bit older and we went to the other 2 Grey Cups, and then I finished my career in Montreal, one of the things that I realized is in 2006, no matter how good we felt about ourselves at the end of it still didn't work out. And then when I looked at it, we were a good group, but we were a group that didn't make any changes, right? We continued to do the same thing, and we liked doing the same thing, right? We were doing whatever we were doing got us into the playoffs, for instance, but we weren't making that next step, right? And I think that's where the maturity and the leadership in the locker room really sort of steps out, because sometimes you think everything's going right, and you've got a real unfortunate realization coming that you actually aren't as hot as you think, right? And unfortunately, you realize after you've lost in the playoff game, right? So I think it's totally right. And again, I'm not surprised you get insight like that from Doubles or Nick. It's why they lasted so long in the league, and that's why they were so great in their careers, right? They understood leadership. They understood things that you need to focus on.
Colson, do you want to throw up the graphic? So the big announcement today by the Riders, there's going to be a preseason game next year at Griffith Stadium in Saskatoon. Something we talked about in training camp to be like, give the folks up there a taste or whatever. 5,000 at Griffiths looks better than 8,000 at Mosaic. But then there's this idea that, and this is kind of like a sideline thing, but I just want to see if the Stamps can have the Stampede Bowl. Luke, the natural, wow. I think I need you on the planning committee. I know. Listen, Curtis went out of his way to just knock this out of the park for the Pilsner Cup, the inaugural Pilsner Cup. We've already found a guy who's going to do a prayer before the game. Dave talked about drunk dudes in togas running around at halftime on the field. That's his contribution. This thing is snowballing. It's gaining momentum.
How big is that thing, though? First of all, Luther, did you like the look of that trophy? Oh, see, Luther approved. So right now, the right demographic likes the trophy. But how big is it? I think that's what you got to do. When I look at that Pilsner trophy, I love it. However, if it's a handheld thing, like a participation trophy handheld that everybody gets for being ranked in 8th place these days, or is it like a big thing that I can hold over my head?
Obnoxious. It needs to be obnoxious enough that Mike McCullough would want to cut in on the picture that will live on in infamy for whoever is holding it over their head. That's how obnoxiously big this thing needs to be.
That I am all for then. I am all for that Pilsner Cup. That is a great idea. That's a very nice Saskatchewan sort of trophy there too. Put a dent in it. Actually, you know what it needs? It needs the Pilsner can needs a little bit of a dent and it needs a hole so it looked like it's been shotgunned. Because that puts it over the top. So let's get a keyhole and an unlocked thing so people look like they shotgunned it.
There's going to be no problem getting a focus group together of people that have drank Pilsner to kind of weigh in on ideas. But let's jump here to the NFL. One of the best settings
in the league.
I know.
Awesome, man. And I can't wait to see them tomorrow. I can't wait to see this crowd and B, Pilsner Place, man. I keep telling you guys that we should do a game down there. Nobody wants to listen to me. I want to do a game in Pilsner Place.
Luke, you and I both know we got a lot of ideas that nobody listens to, but sooner or later, one of these is going to hit. One of these deep balls is going to connect in the end zone. The season hasn't started yet, but already I feel we're already stuck deep in our end zone as Dallas Cowboy fans. Micah Parsons situation. Jerry seems more off the rocker than ever before. Do we throw in the towel already and just concede? Like, as a Cowboy fan, what do you got to look forward to this season? It's not good.
Don't. Well, you don't throw in the towel because you need something to cry into, and you don't want to do it in your beer. So don't throw in the towel. I do think, though, that we've gotten to the point, and I've been saying this for the last few years, and I'm so glad Denzel Washington said it on ESPN. But Jerry no longer knows how to win. And instead of trying to put people around him that want to win and know how to win, and rightfully so, it's his team, but he's focused on the money. They're the most valuable franchise in North America right now, one of the most valuable franchises in the world. And from a businessman's perspective, you take football out of it, that's what you want to do. He bought it he bought the organization for a few $1 million, and now it's worth billions, right? It's worth I think it was $11 billion at last check.
Yeah.
Right? So as a businessman, he's done an amazing job. But as a football fan base or a football guy, it's been terrible. Dak looks like just sort of another version of I don't know. And I don't like saying this, but Dak is essentially another version of Kirk Cousins. And I don't like saying that because Kirk Cousins is a great Spartan, and I'm from Michigan State, so I don't say that. But that's kind of where his career trajectory is headed, right? Like, he's paid like Pat Mahomes, but the results have been more on the lines of
minus the Super Bowls.
Well, that's what I mean, right? You can't get paid like Pat Mahomes and have the success of a Kirk Cousins and type, right? You're flashy, but it's not getting it done. It's just not getting it done. And I think that I swear I was talking to my fantasy chat group. You know, everybody throws in $50 these days or $100 to be part of a fantasy league, and all it really turns out to for a lot of the guys is paying to be in a chat group, and that's what I'm in. Well, I told the chat group, man, I was this close to filling out one of those free agent fan forms the other day, and I still will. I still might.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's not give up on those Cowboys yet. Maybe we long shot territory, but
listen. If true Cowboys fans just understand the state of the franchise, man, and I'm going to be cheering. I'm going to be. There's still players I really, really like on the Cowboys, but man, I'm tired of wasting Hall of Fame careers. I actually wouldn't mind if Micah Parsons left because then we wouldn't waste his career. Like, look at Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, man, players like Marion Barber, like Jason Witten. Tyron, like the countless great players that have been in the Dallas Cowboy uniform that have not gotten their just desserts, have not reached the top because their owner doesn't care. So it is what it is.
I think I came up with another great idea for you and I. The Frustrated Cowboy Fan Podcast, starring Luke Mullinder.
It would be the most
details to come.
podcast. It would be the most subscribed podcast on iTunes or wherever we put it on immediately.
Nice. I like it. I like it. Have a great call tomorrow between you and Mr. Thomas. Hey, Luther, wrap us up here. Send us to break with a Go Riders.
Go Riders.
Have a good show, man. I'm sorry about the dog earlier.
No, it's no problem. Luther and Luke Mullinder joining us on the Western Pizza Cast Hotline here on the Sportscage. All right, it's time to take a break. When we come back, Colson, do we got time for the Nelson Lacombo interview? Where are we at for time? We got time for Nelson Lacombo? Okay. When we come back, we'll hear from Saskatchewan Roughriders starting safety Nelson Lacombo. This is the Sports Cage on the home of Rider Nation, 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Tomorrow is game day as the Riders take on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitgoes at 10. The pregame show's at 12. And kickoff with Luke Mullinder and I is at 1. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Prairie Ford Dealers, Claws of America, and Sask Energy. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
620 CKRM on location.
It's the Foam Lake Recreation Combine Lottery number 30. We got 32 big draws coming up next week. The cutoff is going to be 8 p.m. August 21st. Then the draw is coming up on the weekend, August 25th, a week from this weekend. And we'd love to call you up and say congratulations. Your choice, $330,000 in combine cash towards the purchase of a brand new combine of your choice from our participating dealers. Or if you want just strictly cash, $250,000. That's a great choice to have. Visa, MasterCard, get your 50/50s, massive jackpot. In fact, the winner share is $116,000 plus and climbing. Those are 3 for $50 or 10 for $100. And for the grand prize draws, it's a $100 ticket. Plus, we got another 30 draws of $1,000 a pop. So lots of chances, lots of money. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
Farm equipment keeps getting bigger and bigger, so the doors on your farm buildings have to keep up. Hi, I'm Terry from Zipperlock Building Company. At Zipperlock, our buildings can accommodate up to a 24-foot high door without expensive changes to the building's steel arch design. So when it comes to farm equipment storage, Zipperlock is head and shoulders above the competition. Zipperlock Building Company, built in hours to last a lifetime. See us in Raymore or call 1-888-692-5515.
What water company can say they specialize in dugouts and have been featured in the new inventions and live on a farm and all have dugouts? Brian, Kelly, and Sean from Farm Fresh Water all have dugouts on their farms. They understand what it's like to have a dugout. Their wives and families all appreciate having bottled water at every tap in the house, using no chemicals with the least amount of maintenance possible. Remember, we're not city people trying to solve a rural problem. See us at farmfreshwater.ca.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Yee-haw! It's the Ram Rodeo
Rodeo at Crestview Chrysler. That's right, folks, we got Ram trucks coming out the wazoo. So we're wrangling prices down with discounts of up to 18,200 buckaroos. Can you believe it? Ram Bighorns going for only $65 and change plus tax, or get 0% financing over 72 months on most models. We also have an impressive selection of cars and SUVs. But the Ram Rodeo's on right now at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Regina.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Meet Todd. It's noon. He's really hungry, and his stomach makes sure to let him know it.
Todd, we talked about this. No more skipping meals. I need cheese. I need crust. I need Western Pizza.
All right. Western Pizza it is.
Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today, before your stomach starts making demands.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
The WCBL Championship continues tonight in Sylvan Lake. The Regina Red Sox need a win to keep the series alive. Last night, they lost 3-2 in 11 innings at Curry Field in front of a record crowd of over 2,000 fans. If the Sox win tonight and Game 3 is needed, that will be played tomorrow night in Sylvan Lake as well. The Jays start a series with the Texas Rangers at Rogers Center. A couple innings in, no score. Riders announced today they will play a preseason game in Saskatoon in 2026. This is the first preseason game in Saskatoon since 1991. They also announced that because of World Cup soccer, the Argos will be playing some of their home games in alternate stadiums. One of those stadiums will be Mosaic Stadium. There will be 10 Rider home games next year. In the CFL tonight, the Elks are at home to the Argonauts. Tomorrow, the doubleheader starts at Mosaic with the Riders and Ticats at 1, which is now officially sold out, and then the Alouettes and Lions at 5, which is officially not sold out at BC Place. NFL preseason tonight, the Titans take on the Falcons and the Chiefs play the Seahawks. PFC Thunder taking on the Colts in Calgary on Sunday. The playoff round at the Holinka Gretzky Cup is on. Canada lost 4-3 in a shootout today to the U.S. Blake Zelensky scored the winner for Team USA. Sweden beat Finland 6-5 in overtime, so Sweden and the U.S. will play for the gold. Finland, Canada will play for the bronze. And Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh both signed their standard player agreements today with the Regina Pats. As promised, Dave Thomas had a chance to catch up with starting safety for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Nelson Lacombo, to chat about the big game tomorrow against the Ticats.
Nelson Lacombo, the question on everybody's mind in the Canadian Football League is how in the heck do you stop Bo Levi Mitchell and Kenny Lawler?
Yeah, no, we just got to make sure we correct some of the mistakes we made last time. They're great. They're great players and they're a great overall team. So we got to come prepared, make sure that we're really keyed in on our assignments and make sure that we don't really give up any big plays and just do our job.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Kenny Lawler is stuck in your mind, of course, with his performance in the Western Final with Winnipeg last year and what he did in Week 2 against you. What do you need to do to slow him down?
He's a good receiver. He can, really good at the point of attack, and he's got a good catch radius. He goes up for the ball, so I know we'll have opportunities with the Bo throwing it up to him, so we just got to make sure we win those battles.
You're now entering your second season as the starting safety for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. How are you feeling?
Yeah, not more comfortable. Feeling good with the communication and with the playbook. So I'm just going to keep doing my job and making sure everybody's right and make sure everybody's doing their jobs as well. So we can just keep going the way we're going right now.
Now, you know the old saying, right? When you do good, no one remembers, and when you do bad, no one forgets. You had an opportunity for that interception in Montreal 2 weeks ago. What happened?
Yeah, that was tough. It really was just like a focus, thinking about the return after the pick. So I just got to make sure I'm focused in on the ball, and I'll have more opportunities, and I'll make sure I capitalize on them. So, yeah.
Nelson, the coach once said that playing safety, you have to play with your eyes, but the biggest learning curve is that you have to trust your eyes. Where are you at in that, and is that accurate?
I would say so, yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. I feel pretty good with my eyes and what I'm seeing out there. Play recognition and really just overall formation, being able to identify the formations and seeing where my teammates are and playing according to what the play and the concept is. So I feel pretty good right now.
I know how much you love playing at Mosaic Stadium, but how much of it is a challenge when you can't communicate verbally?
Yeah, it definitely is nice playing in Mosaic and having the Rider Nation cheer for us. It does get loud, so you just got to make sure we're keyed in on what everybody's doing, and hand signals are really important, and pre-snap communication is also important. So it is tough, but we love it, right? It's tough for the offense. Both of us can't, really hear, but it's cool.
Coach Mace was talking about how you have developed and progressed in your time in maybe making some of those reads pre-snap and really going ahead and owning what's happening in the secondary. Have you felt that way as well?
Yeah. No, I feel confident in my abilities to be able to diagnose what goes on there in the back end. So I'm going to keep just doing my job, making sure that I try to win every play and do my assignment. And overall goal is to go 1-0 every week. So that's what we want to do.
He could have his hands full tomorrow. That's Nelson Lacombo, the starting safety for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Hey, don't forget that tomorrow the 620 CKRM Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network has countdown to kickoff starting at 10. I'm sorry, there's a lot of 5 o'clock games. I really like the early games. I still think that the Labor Day Classic should be a 2 o'clock start, not a 5 o'clock. Sorry, TSN, but that's not how we do life here in Sask. Rider Nation pregame show will go at noon. David Luke will have the call. Riders and Ticats kickoff at 1. And don't forget, when the Riders play, get the KFC Game Day Special, the Big Crunch for $4.95, and the Big Crunch Combo for $7.95 at participating KFC locations. Just a couple of minutes left on the show. Let's take our final break, come back, and we'll wrap things up for this Sports Cage on a Friday right here on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Get ready for harvest with a used Case IH Combine from AE Chick 1 Farm Equipment in Storthoaks. They have a 2009 8120, 2009 7120, 2007 7010, 2005 8010, and 2002 2388. Call AE Chick 1 Farm Equipment, your local independent Case IH dealer in Storthoaks. 306-449-2255. That's 449-2255.
620 CKRM on location.
1-888-453-1998. Grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen. Get set to write that number down again. Visa, MasterCard accepted. $100 will get you in for the Combine Lottery number 30. Because it's our big anniversary, we've added more money to the prizes this year. We're going to give away $250,000. That's pretty sweet for a small town. Population here, I'm thinking about 750, maybe 900 people here in Foam Lake, so just a big lottery for a small community. If you want a Combine, we'll give you $330,000 in Combine cash. Then we've got another 30 cash draws of $1,000 a piece on top of that, and a huge 50-50, which is usually the grand prize for many lotteries, but here it's just the 50-50. Right now it's over $116,000 and climbing. Those are 3 for $50, 10-pack for $100. 1-888-453-1998. 1-888-453-1998.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Can I help you?
Name's Terry Touchdown, sent by Western Pizza. I'm here to deliver the Saskatchewan Roughriders sweet deal. A large 3-topping pizza, 4 sticks of Greek souvlaki, a large Caesar salad, and a liter of soda. All for just $48.95 plus tax. And you're entered to win luxury suite tickets to watch the Riders, like a VIP.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Employee pricing is back. Right now, you pay what I pay. You pay what we pay. It's amazing. And guess what? You don't have to do any work.
Right now, you pay what I pay.
They get our discount?
Yeah.
Can you believe it? We got over 100 F-150s. We got over 50 Super Duties. We got Escapes, Bronco Sports, over 300 new vehicles to choose from. We got it all. Don't miss the employee pricing at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Nelson Homes is having a summer blowout sale on quick possession homes that you don't want to miss out on. Get free delivery anywhere in Saskatchewan on select in-stock show homes and spec home RTMs. For more information, visit their website, homes.nlc.ca. Or for general information, call 1-800-661-6534. That's the Nelson Homes Summer Blowout Sale. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Join Sask Express Theater Company for their 45th annual Performance Gala, August 22nd at the Delta Hotel Regina for Lost in a Musical.
3 friends, a magical jukebox, and a wish that every day could be just like a musical. What could go wrong?
Experience an incredible dinner, silent auction, amazing Saskatchewan talent, and your favorite Broadway hits as these friends discover that perhaps not every life situation calls for a song and dance.
Join Sask Express on August 22nd by visiting saskexpress.com.
Tune in for your chance to win big with Access Communications Children's Fund TV Bingo every Saturday at 5 with a prize board between $7,000 and $15,000. Cards are $14 with all proceeds going to the Access Communications Children's Fund. Watch and play every Saturday at 5 for your chance to win TV Bingo only on Access Now TV. This week's jackpot is $3,500 in 52 numbers or less.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. This is Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Thanks for being part of the show this afternoon. Just a couple minutes left. We're wrapping things up. It's Maz in for Barney, along with one of the double C's, Colson. Curtis is kicking around somewhere. Curtis shows up in the weirdest and oddest places these days. Sometimes on the show, I miss having both of you guys on. Colson, any highlights of the week that we need to recap in case anybody's going to go back and listen on demand in podcast form? Some of the highlights that maybe you as the producer of the show want to point out to anybody that's just checking in with us now?
Well, one thing that I do is whatever I kind of feel is the best segment of the day, if you will, just as the producer, because I have to sit through them all. I will post a producer's pick on social media.
Whoa. I don't know if your mic's on, but you have to sit through all of this? That's actually incredibly funny when you say that you have to sit through this. That's actually fun. That's real.
Hey. There are fun moments, and then there are other moments that are a bit of a grind. It's like any job. But, yeah. No, I post producers' picks from every Sportscage show daily. So you can find those on our socials. So I can't even remember what yesterday's was. I'm trying to remember. I think yesterday's was a rash, but
I think you need to start doing a segment where you put up something that you really liked and be like, and listen, if and this was absolutely just not awesome for me to be a part of, here's this segment of the show. Today's guests included Farhan Lalji of TSN, Rider President and CEO Craig Reynolds, Jenna Beutler from the Whitewood Rodeo. Oh, I was going to ask you, the human chuck wagon races, is that anything you and your brothers would do?
It is 100% something me and my brothers would do. They would have to agree to it and then coerce me into it because I'm the oldest brother, right? So I'm probably going to be the most hesitant to hop in something like this, or I'm the one who signs them up for it without telling them. It's one or the other.
Now, when you do this, does your wife look down with a little bit of shame with her hand on her forehead going, what is he doing? This is not good.
A 50-50. It's that, or it's she's watching us and go, yeah, they're brothers.
Yeah. And we're just joined by rider color guy Luke Mullinder and his son Luther, who was hanging out by the pool. And he could have been shirtless, but he put a shirt on for his Sportscage hit. But hey, listen, you got a swimming pool when you're growing up. You want to come on the cage, rocking no tarp, all in. You decide, Luther.
It's your house,
It's your world. It's your world. We're just living in it. All right. Thanks for being part of the show this week. Barney is back in on Monday. As always, if you've missed any part of this, you can go get the podcast. Apple, Spotify. I think we're even on Amazon, wherever you get your audio, or you can find it on our website where you can sign up for our insider newsletter. You can do all of that at sportscage.com. We'll say good night, have a great weekend, and go Riders.
This is Country Gold with Steve Harmon, your home for the country hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Hello, I'm Steve Harmon, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week we play country favorites from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and we check in with the stars who made them, too. This weekend on Country Gold.
Country Gold, brought to you by Trent Dickin and his experienced team at Flooring Superstore. Saturday mornings at 6 and Sunday afternoons at 4 on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620